That small sound effect means apologies for the late start, folks. We've just been.
We're online.
I'm trying to be like assertive and stuff.
It's going really well.
I know, it's going so well. It's really my natural state of being. Yes, apologies for slightly late start. Just obviously for anyone who's not familiar with this setup, hello internet tomorrow night. We have a lot of tech things that we were managing. But welcome to Adventures Wanted Undergods!
Yay!
Thanks for coming.
Yes. My name's Chloe, and I will be your DM for this evening. Is everyone here kind of familiar with what D&D is? Or, that's kind of like noddings and thumbs up and stuff like that? Well, for the benefit of anyone who's stumbled across this online, who doesn't know.
How did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive, but just in
Hey,
case.
Twitch is a thing where you go, I want to watch that, and you don't know what it is.
We're going to have to get a really impressive thumbnail there.
Yeah.
Should we
Fallout
try
4
and do
is
our-
just to the right.
No one's playing Fallout 4 anymore, Tom.
I'm trying so hard to be. I can't
it
believe
now.
things going off the rails, like even before we started playing, in terms of me controlling this. So, in terms of what this is, the people to my left and right are players who each have their own unique individual characters that they have created, and they play those whilst I play the rest of the world that they find themselves in. In this case, quite a kind of fantasy-based world, whilst they are the descendants of deities with unique undergod-based powers. And whenever we need to make decisions or try to do things, we roll dice, 20-sided ones most normally. 1 is super bad, 20 is super good, and everything else is somewhere on the scale that matches those. Additionally, we are delighted that this show, like all of our streams and such, is sponsored by D&D Beyond and Ultra Pro. D&D Beyond provide amazing online tools if you play or if you indeed run D&D games. And Ultra Pro have incredible accessories. We give away their Xanathar dice bags each week on our Baldur's Gate stream. But check out dndbeyond.com and ultrapro.com as well. And this show is also supported by the Thornless Rose, who creates loads of amazing accessories like that leather dice tray just there. They've also provided us with things like dice to give away. So someone's going away with new sets of dice tonight. As in someone in the audience, not just like us.
We've got plenty.
Yeah.
I want more.
Quick kind of like housekeeping stuff. We'll run till about 10:30, depending on exactly the choices everyone at the table makes. But we will break around halfway through for a little interval. However, we like to keep things quite relaxed. So if you need to hop out or come back in at any point during the night, feel free to. We always have like the lights up a little bit, and we've got a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of those who would find it difficult to be still and silent for 3.5 hours. Additionally, we aren't expecting anything particularly intense necessarily in certain ways in this particular session, but because we do very role-play based shows, it's hard to give trigger warnings. But if at any point you do need to take a breather, that's absolutely fine. Just head out and then come back in when you want to. But yes, there's nothing we're particularly anticipating that we'd warn about for tonight's show. Lastly, myself and the people at the table all have varying gender identities and sexualities. We are a company that champions and celebrates different gender identities in our players and in our characters in our games. And a lot of the time also people will be playing different gender identities to their own. So we are aware that misgendering is a thing that does happen. We try to avoid it as much as possible, but we do have policies in place for correcting people when misgendering occurs. But if there's an instance that you think we've missed, feel free to give a little shout out. Right, can I have some describing a story up to this point music, please, Chazz? Perfect. So, currently in the story, we're coming in at episode session 5, so I will quickly recap the others. The 5 of you have all been brought together by a mysterious, slightly shady organization called The Tree. And you have been tasked essentially now with stopping a particular group called The Dawn from constructing the Esterno Circle, which is a strange, huge magical monument that you only know little scraps and pieces about. You know that it's made up of arches or hinges, and the first one you encountered aged one of you by 6 years in 6 seconds. And they're acting with a lot of secrecy, so it doesn't necessarily seem like a good thing that's happening. Most recently, you went to a semi-flooded, internally raining tomb that you explored because you are looking for a particular magical item that the Dawn seem to want, which you gained, having got it out of the hands of a medusa who is currently petrified, having looked into their own reflection in one of these internally raining rooms. One of you, indeed, was petrified by the medusa, but then your really lovely, incredibly sweet, so adorable patron came down and healed you.
Yeah. That's a
and
thing
then
that happened.
Emotionally prodded the rest of you in the room. So you are currently... That's what we're calling it. You are currently in a large treasure room which has pedestals dotted around. It is raining internally, and the floor is broken into pieces as part of a trap where if you trigger it, the floor breaks away and you fall into what is now essentially a pool of water. Having gained the Heart of Beast, which is this large petrified dragon egg, you have opened up the door into the next space. And we left it with the door opening and someone being the other side.
Should we do character intros?
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Pan across. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Chris. I use he and they pronouns, and I am playing Rathar. Rathar also uses they them pronouns amongst a variety of others whenever they change shape, because Rathar is a changeling and can adopt the physical form of many different people. At the moment, they are having a wonderful time. I'll let the storytelling tell the rest.
Which persona is Wrath currently in? Is Wrath
Wrath is currently Wrath.
Okay. So I'm Griff. I use they pronouns. I play a character currently known by the party as Aware. We're 5 in and y'all still don't know their name.
Well, we haven't asked.
It's because they said I'm aware at one point, having not given a name. Just to be clear on that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then we all just started going, okay, aware.
No, own it. What was the dad joke you told?
Hello, aware, I'm Polaris.
Aware is also a changeling, and therefore uses a number of pronouns depending on their state. Their current persona is Callisto, who is a gender-fluid elf druid.
That's so good. That's so
It's got
good.
like...
Notice that.
I spit.
When they said it was fluid, that's not what they meant.
That's exactly what they meant. I'm going to stop now.
It's all going so wrong.
Hello. My name is Tom. I use he, him pronouns. So does my character, who's called Polaris. Polaris is a water genasi. Pretty much picture a privateer / legalized pirate, made entirely of water, like full on, like sort of water shaped into a man. And his undergod power was, in his eyes, the curse of having lightning coursing through his veins, which we found out last session means that when he's in water, unless he works very hard or gets very lucky and has special dispensation, he's just constantly low level or indeed high level electrifying all the water around him, which sort of explained why he has to now live on the surface in a boat, because that's the closest he can be to his beloved ocean home. He's sort of been asked to be in charge by everyone else because he was a ship's captain and no one was being in charge, and that's not a good way to save the world. So he's sort of in charge but not pushing that too much.
Well, he asked for the necessary pay raise.
He did do that because he's a privateer. He's not a mug.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Phoebe, who is descended from Scala, who offers her visions every now and then that she doesn't really know what to deal with. And she's on her first adventure out, pretty much. So that's going great.
Hello, I'm David. David Alwyn. I use he, him pronouns, and so does my character, Tender. Tender is a tiefling, greyish in colour with obsidian black horns. He is a retired adventurer and has a teenage daughter. They've lived quite happily next to a lake in a cabin, but he got pulled back in for one last job, which is going really badly, and not quite sure why he's involved at all at this point. It's all gone really, really badly. He's abandoning his family to do this job, and just becoming more and more disgruntled and older by the second. As
We're
time
all
goes
getting
by.
older by the second, David.
Some more than others, in
Yeah.
one particular instance. Yes.
Cool. And my name's Chloe, and I use she, her pronouns, but I will be playing various different characters with various different pronouns. Cool. Something a bit more tense now.
Oh, good.
Like, it's not the greatest thing behind that door. So,
Oh, good.
these huge stone doors begin moving open. As you stand in this room, rain still cascading down, though the sound of footprints is now, footsteps on stone has faded a little bit since you all realized it was an illusion. And there is someone, just maybe 15 feet from the door as these open, and you get a greater sense of the room. It's low light. There are ever burning flames just flickering as this room kind of spreads out away from you. But there is someone they're in chains and they're on the floor. That's why the shape of them didn't look quite right. It took a little second to realize who it was. It seems to be some humanoid. You can't quite tell. They're wearing, imagine essentially what Indiana Jones would wear on a daily basis.
So a
except-
fedora.
Well, like academic clothing, because he's a professor of archaeology. Like a suit.
But leather.
Fair
Well,
point.
hold on,
I
that's
have been
someone's.
corrected. Imagine what Indiana Jones would wear on a daily basis when not teaching.
Fair enough.
Dressing gown.
Spends a lot of time in bed.
So,
Velour.
and this individual who can kind of crane their neck just to maybe see you ever so slightly, humanoid face, you might slightly see some elf ears. Anyone, or make me perception rolls,
Oh.
just for seeing further down and into this room.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that into the mic.
That's a solid 10 from me.
21.
Oh.
Show off.
Mine is David's number, but with the 0 crudely rubbed out in crayon.
Nat 20.
Hey!
That's the answer.
19, but it seems kind of meaningless now.
Well, in that case, I know 21, but nat 20 will. It's a nat
Yeah.
20. Basically,
No, it's fine.
you get
I'm just being
everything.
shitty.
You get everything that Aware gets from this.
It's not as good.
Yeah.
It's not quite as high def.
Slightly worse.
Yeah.
Not as high def. The figure that you've seen represented before in this tomb, the winged figure with the almost gyroscopic crown that unfurls and swirls around their head and that stands around 7-8 foot tall, always slightly larger than life size. There is a statue of them, and it is moving further down the room, and it is coming closer and closer to either you or the person in chains that is currently between you and them. You can both see that. Wrath, you can see that there is something moving further down this space. Is there anything you want to do right now?
Step behind Polaris.
Okay.
Just step behind.
Hide in one of the handy shadows that will be around the corners of this room.
So you're going into the room and ducking around the side.
So we haven't entered yet, in which case I will.
You've just opened the doors. You're still in the kind of treasure room with bits and pieces.
In which case I want to stay where I can see as much as possible through this door, but like kind of blend into a shadow.
Roll me stealth.
You are. $18.
Okay. That you do manage to do. I mean, you're a changeling. You're also used to, as a rogue, just blending in with everything around you. Rest of you? I mean, to be honest, two of you have not seen anything yet.
I rolled a 1. I'm tying my shoelace.
Yeah.
So it's a moving statue
Mm-hmm.
of Atulka, says my notes?
Yes, Atulka, the god of destruction, isolation, and war.
Charming.
Can I roll religion or something like that to find out anything that I would know about moving statues.
Yeah. I'd say roll Arcana
Aye.
for rather than religion for moving statues.
I'm a cleric.
I'm a cleric.
If there was a religion of, moving inanimate objects in this world, I would let you roll religion, but there isn't.
Why isn't there?
That sounds profitable. That's a 14.
14. You're aware, obviously not directly, but you've done a lot of studying. You grew up in a temple and a monastery, like where a lot of
Lots
people
of
have been
statues.
doing. Yeah, and lots of people
No,
have been
move.
doing adventuring and things like that. You've heard of these things called golems, which are constructed beings that will often follow. That's a great response. But you are aware of things that are constructs that can have magical abilities, and that often will follow like relatively kind of straightforward instructions that their creator has given them.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do with that whilst Tender is just standing as
Examining
it's
the
seen?
door.
I'm going to pull
it's a nice
Tender
door.
out of the way of the door. Like, just like,
Okay.
you can stand to one, like, if here is the door and here is the hallway, you can do this
Okay.
on the side.
So
Just a sort of like a...
So just to confirm, the door opens,
yep.
no one steps out, but if you look inside, there's a water genasi tying his shoelaces with a changeling standing awkwardly behind him. Cool.
Yes. The door's open, no one says anything, but one person hides behind Polaris and one person pulls Tender out of the way
Cool.
whilst not explaining
So
anything.
from the shadows, still
Well,
in.
I don't want to say anything because if it's moving towards us, then we'll deal with it. But if it's moving towards the bound figure, then we have an opportunity to do something else.
Okay, and you're the only one who's no one else is actually. I mean,
No.
you're trying. You've gone behind
Yeah,
Polaris.
so he takes the first hit.
Okay, but you're not properly. You're meat shield. You're not hiding.
Translucent. Translucent. Not like
Yeah,
fully.
not
You
fully.
can probably see a shape through him, but he's also wearing clothes, so yeah.
And
From-
armor, most
point.
notably, which I am not.
The
Yeah.
individual in the hats with the whip kind of looped round their belt and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cranes their neck up because one of you hid very well, but the others are stood at this doorway with light cascading in from your space, and just looks at you. Help! 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 Help!
Tender immediately.
Who said that?
now that someone said, you can then spot.
Tender looks kind of slightly disparagingly at Phoebe, and just goes to try and help whoever it was.
Okay.
You keep nearly dying.
Chloe, there was some pedestals in the room we just came from with various magic items on them.
Some magic, some mundane. Yeah.
Cool. Just give you a hint of what I'm doing.
Sure.
Grand.
Since
Tender's rushing straight to the person.
Okay, I will allow you to rush straight to them. You can easily get there. However, the moment that you're in the space, this becomes a bit more complicated. So,
Good.
we don't roll initiative. We flip a coin.
I think we should get that on a T-shirt. I think that's at the Adventurers Wanted catchphrase level. I think now.
But we let
We
the
don't roll
audience
initiative.
decide, and it's basically whether the characters or the NPCs.
Jesus! Oh
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Whether the characters or the NPCs go first. So, heads or tails? Tails. That was one very. It's tails. Characters go first.
Thank you.
I'm assuming that you're rooting for the characters and therefore that they're going first on you getting it
You
right.
were rooting for the Sonic character Tails.
At
Thanks.
this point, why?
We do not deserve to be rooted for.
Oh, sorry.
That's not fair.
What's that?
I love my disaster
Neither's
family.
life.
Can you just sound off your dexterity modifiers to me whilst I get a pen because I was bad at organising
Here.
today.
Here.
You've been already handed a pen.
Sound off your dex mods?
2.
3.
+1.
-1.
+1.
So it's Polaris and Tender. You get to choose who goes first.
I'm
Okay.
doing something.
Excuse me.
Oh yes, but out of those two, because
Okay.
they're the same. So come on.
We have the same, yeah.
Okay, so unknown. There is this thing that's coming forward out of the darkness that is significantly larger than anyone else. Individual, wrapped in some form of chains, and Tender has gone into the room. What would you like to do?
I will draw my crossbow from my bag of holding.
Mhm.
I will sight at this large figure. I don't actually know what it is because I didn't roll a history to check out.
That's
if I'm
fine,
aware.
and the person who knows hasn't said anything, so yeah.
So it's just a big thing coming as far as I know. And the big thing coming. And I would like to.
Oh, Lord.
Does that take my action or can I hold an action?
What, taking out your crossbow?
Yeah.
No, that's I'm happy with that. Just you can then hold an action to actually attack.
Okay, I will hold an action until the creature,
Yeah.
is within, I'm going to say 5 feet of the bound figure.
Within 5 feet of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're currently, the other figure is about, it's about 45 feet away from all of you, and it's about 30 feet away from the bound figure.
Yeah.
And so that's holding the action to attack when they're within 5 feet.
Yep.
Okay, are there any bonuses you want to use? Rogie?
I mean, I'm still hidden, so no.
Respect.
True, of course, you've only taken it out, you haven't attacked, so you're still hidden. Okay, so, Wrath.
What's on the pedestals?
You can see from the pedestals that you're on a necklace, a deck of cards, a plain stick, and
Say a deck of cards.
Did someone say deck of cards?
Someone said deck of cards, Tom.
It's going to be just a
I
normal
would
deck
like
of
to take
cards.
this opportunity to remind everyone there are more than one deck of cards in D&D. So,
Well, like the
necklace,
many things
deck
we
of
do.
cards, plain stick, and bit of rope. It's like the generation game, except you know.
I will poll the audience. What do you think?
Oh,
Come on. Anything? No nods? Stick.
The stick.
Sticky, sticky, stick, stick.
It's
What's
a
the
stick
stick?
of power.
you want to get the stick?
I run over to the stick. Pick it up. Is it
No,
just a
it's
stick?
Stick of truth.
Nice.
One of these things is just a thing.
I hope
but
it's this one.
The stick is not just a stick.
Ah,
Roll me Arcana. It's a low DC. But just so that, because you might think it's just a stick.
good. That's a 12 on the dice. This is numbers. 13.
13. You realize when you actually pick it up, because it looks just like a wooden stick, like a piece from a branch, but when you pick it up, it has the weight of metal, and you see that it's actually designed and engraved in this way, and it has 2 words engraved on it. Yes, because I love these items. It has 2 words. I will let you decide what those 2 words are with your immovable rod.
Is that my action?
I'm gonna be stricter on officially what actions are. So yes, identifying that magical item.
Do I
But
still
you have
have
a bonus.
movement?
You have a bonus and you have movement.
Cool. I will run back to the door, staying behind Polaris, and pull out my wand of web. I don't have an
You
action.
just have like one in each
2
hand.
wands! Well, I think the immovable rod's going. Okay, I'm just putting it on, in a like belt loop for now, and pulling out the wand of web, which is going to be more useful in this scenario, I feel, for now.
Okay.
Adding an immovable wand to
I
my
mean,
character
Tender, you are the person who kind of kicked this off, but
Use
does
the
that feel
tiny
fair?
shoelace.
Get in there, old man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to run over to the figure and
Yep.
see if I can move them. See if they can move, or if they're fully chained up, if I can get them further back away from everyone.
Okay. When you get up to the chains, you can see that there is a strange, shimmering, opalescent translucence to them, and they're not physical chains. There is something magical about them.
I cast. Oh, wait, I'm sure I had Dispel Magic at some point. Yes, I cast that.
Oh, sweet. I don't have to.
Cast Dispel Magic. How does Dispel Magic work?
Dispel Magic, thanks
Spells magic.
to.
Of any level?
There's a whole thing.
Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using my spellcasting ability The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
I will need you to make a DC 19 check.
Or I can cast it at a higher level. I don't really have that
That's
much.
all
of
the
that.
music we can use.
Just roll a 20. Come on.
Yeah. I'm just going to roll a 20.
You got it.
Wait, what's my spellcasting modifier? Where are
I don't
you?
We believe in you.
Plus 3. 15.
Unfortunately, it just kind of is it like crackling out of your hands or?
Well, it's almost like like a ripple through the air. You know, it's like and it doesn't quite like it's like an engine not starting.
Story of your life.
Yeah.
The
Just come in first.
the person who
in
is
character.
within the chain.
Or is it?
It's a trap. I don't know how to undo it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. All right. Just starts pulling at the chain.
Oh mate.
Like,
Oh,
Do you have any bonuses you'd like to use?
yeah, I'm gonna toss a quick inspiration at Polaris, with because he's a bard and I never do it. Just like a little, hey man, come and help me, would you please?
Oi! I'll buy you some time. I'd like to. How far away is our golemic friend?
About 45 feet.
That's an annoying distance. I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to do this. I'd like to run 30 feet and then hold my action. Does 30 feet get me past our chained friend?
Yes.
Right. I would like to stand at the extent of how far I can run, ready my trident, and hold my action because I would like to cast Booming Blade, attacking and attempting to get this thing to stop or just take loads more damage when it gets to me. But as it happens right now, I'm just and my trident begins to shake slightly.
So when it's within attack range.
When it's within
melee
attack
of you?
range, I will strike it and we'll see what happens.
Okay. And Phoebe.
Lads, it's a golem. I don't know what much else to say about that. Right. And Phoebe is going to run towards the bound figure and tender and call forth some spirit guardians. And so I call forth spirits to protect me. They flit around me to the distance of 15 feet for the duration, and that's 10 minutes.
It's a really good spell.
It's a very good spell.
At the moment, I believe I am neutral rather than good.
That seems fair.
Hang on, they do necrotic damage if you're evil and radiant if you're good, so they do no damage because you are neutral.
No, that's not true.
Hey!
If they are good or neutral.
Hey!
However, because of... Well, it says I do necrotic damage according to... Because I've taken skills in...
Oh, because you've started going a bit
Because I've
necromantic.
started going a bit necromantic because I keep killing
phase.
things. It's a phase.
It's a phase going to last
teenage
her entire life.
Yeah, and I...
And beyond.
Oh wait, no, you're right. If I'm good on neutral, it's radiant. If it's
Beyond.
3d8, it's necrotic. So, right. For now, neutral.
Do
Done.
necrotic damage. Live the dream.
Okay, I'm going to live my dream
Yeah.
of going bad.
Emo.
Good girls go bad. Anyway, so they appear fiendish. Any number of creatures you can see be unaffected by it. I would like basically the party
The fam.
and Indiana Jones to be unaffected.
Indy.
Montana James to be
Yep.
Cannon.
to be unaffected. And so, yeah, it does damage to people. I don't need to do anything, apparently. I just spend it. and
What
it
do your little fiendish sprites look like?
happens. They look like quite similar to the statues I used to see around the temple where I grew up. In the sense that they kind of like an Oscars statue.
Wait, do they look like
Except-
your dad?
No, so
Okay.
like more faceless, fewer features that are defined. But instead of the Oscars, which feels quite like a neutral thing, they've just got frowning eyebrows.
Did those
so
statues
they've got
scare
no
you as a
other
kid?
features except this, and then it's flat all the way on the
gosh.
face.
That's such a great.
Did the statues scare you as a kid?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really cool. So they
Yeah.
come out and they're what frightened you. So of course that's what evil looks like.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Angry Oscars.
Angry Oscars.
Angry Oscars.
To rescue Montana James. I'm really sorry. This perhaps was not the tone.
It's the crash.
It's the tone is whatever tone we communally come up with as a group.
Right. Yeah, so I've cast them. They are around me.
Okay, so they don't take any effect on others right now.
Not right now, no. Unless someone tries to hit them. If someone tries to hurt me,
Okay.
they will.
Goes within 15
It's
feet.
area of
area of
not to
effect.
correct you, but I think it's if they enter the radius at all
Yeah.
and they're not one of the people you selected,
Yeah.
they gonna go.
Okay.
Okay, so if it just comes
Yeah.
near you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got 10 minutes of this.
Concentration.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
So you're the closest.
I sure am.
This huge kind of creaking golem starts moving towards you, strangely smoothly.
Smoothly after its arm
And it
fell
break-
off. It was really weighing him down.
Smooth.
We love
But yeah,
Chazz.
just still creaking, but with a little bit more grace than you'd expect from a huge stone statue. And it is going
Well, hello
to
there.
attack you. However, you have something ready, so do yours first, and then
Heck
we will
yes.
go on to theirs.
It's entered my range.
It has.
I'm gonna make a spell attack. Oh, no, actually, it's Booming Blade, which means I have to make it's a very rare case if I have to make a melee attack with a weapon, and that's part of the spell. It's not a melee spell attack, because I've just
Okay.
reread that.
Rules.
Rules are great. What's particularly great is how Beyond puts them all in one place. It's very readable, and the fact I got a +1 trident really helps right now. Also, I'm stalling. Here we go. It's a +9, and that is a 24.
Boom!
Whale.
That will hit.
Excellent news. I return to the page with the spell on it. That's the wrong spell. Here we go. Right, now, it suffers the attack's normal effects, so I hilariously need to go back to the damage that I would do from the attack.
Convenient, Tom. That's what you said. Convenient.
Yeah, it's really convenient. No, this is great. However, it was a two-handed strike, so it's 1d6 plus 6. 1d8 plus 6 magical piercing because it's a trident.
Yep.
Pierce.
Good thing it's magical.
That lovely one is a 1, so that is 7 magical piercing. But it now, let me just get the spell exactly right. It is now sheathed in booming energy. So like the way my trident was shaking around, kind of like a giant tuning fork, and it's kind of boom, and that energy has kind of hit the golem. And if you permit, the golem is like shaking very slightly in the manner that if it's kind of been struck like a tuning fork. And rules as written, it can stay still. And then nothing happens, or if it moves before the start of my next turn, it will immediately take 1d8 thunder damage. No, it will take 2d8 thunder damage
mean-
because I'm level 6.
It's just about to move because it's about to slam attack you.
Fine by me. Come
so
on and slam.
Boom.
Roll that thunder damage then.
Everybody get up. It's time to... That's another one. And that was a 6. So that is 7 thunder damage are dealt to this golem as it comes at me. And I brace myself, I guess.
Yeah. So there's this huge boom of thunder just before the moment that it hits you.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
So that is... Oh, God. That's a 13 and a 16.
Oh, you know what? No, 18.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everybody stay up. It's time to slam now.
Sorry, that's with a +10 to hit.
Ooh.
So somehow, I think maybe it's just because of this shuddering, but also it's incredibly tall, so it probably just like swings over you with one of its wings that would have absolutely just slammed into
Yeah.
you, and then takes the other one, but is thrown off by this thunderous
Yeah.
damage that's radiating through it right now.
It throws off the rhythm.
Do the sick
it's-
Matrix style.
We have established before that the way Polaris's AC works is that when it's close, which I think a 16 would have
16,
been,
yeah.
his body can,
Yeah.
if he thinks quickly enough, it can just pass through the water. And 'cause he doesn't have bones. Polaris does not have bones.
Boneless.
So it just goes and then reforms.
Somehow that's gross.
So the
It's a horrible
golem,
effort.
to be honest. No, it's going to stay with you. It's going to stay next to you.
You're
the
mine.
individual who is chained up can't do anything, but will just say, if you get me out, I can help, and don't use lightning. No lightning.
Everybody get up. It's copyrighted.
Just on the chains or on the thing?
No, on the thing.
On the thing.
Don't use lightning.
Polaris!
Oi!
Don't do the thing that you usually with the lightning. Don't do that.
Oh, right, because I always choose when I do that.
Background to aware.
With my 21,
Yep.
are there locks on these chains?
Your 21 was like your perception on the entire space, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There aren't locks on these chains, but what you are able to see with that 21 is a message scrawled into the far wall past the golem, which says destruction will set you free. And there seem to be objects mounted onto that wall. The rest of this room is relatively empty. There is also a small plinth that is near that wall that seems to have something on it, but you can't quite tell what it is. It's carved in some way.
How much space do I have to get around what's happening now in this battle?
The space is about 45 feet wide and about 60 feet deep, so you can move around without going into the area of the golem.
Okay. So what I would like to do then is dash to that pedestal to see what's going on there.
Yep, absolutely you can. Once you get there, you see, as you approach, there are these motes of light above it, and because you've already been through a fair amount of this, you wouldn't need to roll. It's a relief map of the dungeon, and these motes of light are all currently in one space. So you would guess that they are showing where individuals in this dungeon currently are.
Oh god, this is above my pay grade.
Would you like to use a bonus because you've used your dash to
Yeah,
get there?
so I've used all my action, all of my movement, but none of my action.
To dash is to take the dash action. So
Right.
you have 30 feet of movement, and then you...
You can do it as a bonus action if you're a rogue, that is correct.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Forgot. So
Cunning
if you
action.
just use your bonus to dash, then you've got an action.
So, fuck it, I'm gonna shout. Everybody's fighting anyway. We have to destroy something? The wall? Help!
Was that supposed to be helpful?
What?
Right.
A bit busy.
Alright, fine. I'm gonna shoot the wall. Where it says destruction or I'll just shoot it.
There are little things, like, there are things mounted on the wall.
Do any of them look like shooting them would help them explode or destruct?
I guess, well, they're all made out of the same things. They're all cages carved out of stone.
Cages carved out of stone.
Yes, the symbol of this god is a bird cage that you've seen in a few other rooms. I'm going to need a choice in the next 5, 4, 3,
I shoot the nearest cage.
2. Okay, make me an attack roll.
Some Sweeney Todd level birdcage symbol.
That would be a plus my proficiency 6.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Were you just throwing something at something?
No,
Shooting.
You were shooting. You using a weapon that you have?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be just +3 on that if you're a rogue and you've got proficiency in the weapon.
My
use- use
proficiency
the
It would
bonus
be
is
your
plus 3.
proficiency
Use the weapon.
plus your,
Yeah.
in this case, what's
If you look under actions, this must be fun for the people watching.
D&D is great.
Your
and
short
there's
bow
lots
here
of
gives you a
rules.
+6, for example.
All right.
in the
so
real world,
that's
how
a
this is
9, and
represented
it
is
still
things
doesn't
just like kind of teetering on the edge of things.
I do not
How
want
much
you
was
nerfed
it?
like that.
it was a 9.
Unfortunately, even a 9, basically,
Even a 9?
it's a crossbow, right?
Short bow.
So this bolt just kind of slams straight into the wall and cracks into it, but doesn't do anything to anything else nearby, and nothing seems to change in the room.
Is it just blow up the wall?
It does not just blow up the wall, no.
No.
Raph.
The wall is made of explodium.
It's not my area.
I cast Mage Hand,
Mm-hmm.
put the immovable wand into the Mage Hand, and move it over to the golem. I can't activate it on this turn.
Okay.
But as that's happening, as it's
Can Mage
floating
Hand go
30 feet away from me.
30 feet? Yeah, and you can,
So
Oh, great. No, we have a stick.
It's moved forward, so yeah.
it's a very useful stick, you'll see, and run over to Tender. Go, can I help in any way?
I don't know. It's very strong, I think. Break the chains.
It's right, David. I don't have an action. I'm just asking.
I know.
That's the end of my turn.
Building the world.
And on to Tender.
After that
Yeah.
delightful exchange. Fuck it. Tender's gonna try. He's gonna try. He's gonna take the instrument, the little lute thing that I forgot today, to
bash it.
Yeah, he's gonna try. He's gonna just go. Try one more time with the dispel magic.
Nice.
It's another. It's another 15. Bang on.
Sorry.
Yeah. And just look up at Phoebe and just go. You got anything? You're usually good at blowing things up.
I can definitely blow things up, but I've got these friends. Hi, friends.
Ah!
This is quite unnerving, I will give you that.
Well, yeah, if anyone comes in this sort of 15-foot radius, you're fine.
Oh.
So I'm just making sure that
Am I fine?
You're fine.
Good, so we gotta wait for it to get close and then we're fine.
Well,
damn.
If you get me free, then I can help you with that.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I've got...
Polaris.
Right, yes, so I've been kind of like grappling with this thing and ducking around it. You're very lucky, or maybe you're not. I've been told not to use lightning, which is sort of... I'm going to hit you now. And then hit him two-handed with my lovely trident. Bloody Nora. That's a 14.
Misses.
I mean, higher than the last one. 26.
Could the mage hand be assisting, say, floating awkwardly and causing a distraction? It's a reach, but I'm asking.
I think it's a reach
Oh.
slightly too far.
Reach with the mage.
I think like a
hand.
person can assist, but a mage hand, especially one that's kind of like busy
That
with
sets a
something
very
already.
dangerous precedent.
It does.
Yeah,
It
that
makes
does.
Mage Hand the best spell in the game.
I mean...
What was the second one though? Was what, 26?
It was a 26, yeah.
That definitely hits.
Fantastic news. I would like to roll some damage. That time is a 5 plus 6, 11. And with a bonus action, I won't do anything.
No?
I'm just
Nothing
gonna...
more, just carving chunks out of this.
I'm in front of it. It tries to get past me. I'm going to opportunity attack it. My job is to keep it away because Chain Face over here is still very much Chain Face.
Phoebe.
Sorry, Manitoba Graham or whatever his name is.
I've written Nevada Smith.
Well, there
since
you go.
There we go.
That's been
Montana James.
anyway.
Dakota Brown. Wait.
Okay, just to get a... Hannah has trouble with visuals again.
That's fine.
Okay, the room. The golem.
Yep.
Montana James. Me.
Montana James.
Tender.
Yes.
You heard it
Wrath.
too.
Yes.
Behind the golem.
Yep. Aware.
Aware.
And at the golem, Polaris.
How far away is the golem? From,
It's
from-
30 feet from where you are now, because it came forward.
Great. So I am going to move so that 15 feet
Nice.
includes
Yeah.
Montana
Nice.
James and Co.
Yep.
and hits the level of the golem. So I am sort of like
Hovering in the middle.
exactly.
So you like you're getting it to the point where they're actually
They'll
at the golem.
attack,
Okay,
yes.
then roll me the damage on them.
Okay.
Or is that on its turn? I mean,
It's
like
about to be
it's
its turn anyway,
turn
isn't
next.
it?
So
Yeah.
It's if there's a
3d8.
creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
well, it's about to start its turn there. So
So
Is that
yeah,
not double damage because it's entering into it for the first time when you move, and then it's about to be its turn. Its turn.
Ooh, no,
I know both of those are things that happen on its turn.
okay. It does 11 necrotic damage.
Ooh, Nelly. How do the Oscar statues attack?
yeah, how did they beat it up?
Yeah, necrotically.
So the Oscar statues, they're always like this with their hands like this, kind of just neutral, and then it still blocks, like they don't get fingers, but they just do this, and then they clap like that, and
That's
just
really
a beam
creepy.
of black, what almost like the the opposite of light, just shoots out towards the golem.
Okay. The golem.
And just like the Oscar playoff music stuff.
Yeah.
No, they just announced that La La Land's
Welcome
won.
to play some Oscar playoff music.
Are they
It's the
killing it
Resident
with
Bar.
approval? The metaphor is here.
Killing in the name
Talk
of.
to your father.
I'm trying.
The golem briefly looks at you, seeing that you're at the center of all of this, and then turns back to you. And can you please make me, actually, one or more creatures? I can see you're the only one within 10 feet, though. Can you make me a
Sure am.
wisdom save?
Everybody's got a weakness. Turns out mine is actually charisma saves, but it's a 5.
Hey. So what happens to you is you suddenly feel like the world slows. Around you.
Chazz, what are you doing after this?
You can't use reactions. Your speed is halved, and you can't make more than one attack on your turn.
The one person this is effective against. I'm the only one with extra attack.
You can either take an action or a bonus action on your turn, and not both.
That's shitty.
We can. This lasts for a minute. I just need to see if that also recharges, which it does.
I think the water is moving slightly out of sync with my body now. So when I move my arm, like the shape moves, but the water kind of goes blub, 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 like that. It's real.
Oh my god, but then how does we know that the shape moves? What do you mean that the shape moves?
Because
but
like
the
my
water doesn't
my
move?
trident physically moves
Oh,
down,
okay.
and then it's.
I thought you meant the outline of your body moves. But the water
I am a cartoon.
My cell shading moves.
And because you can't choose reactions, you can't make an attack of opportunity as the golem gets closer to all of you.
How mechanically useful.
It will use. It will come right up to you, so it will use 15 feet, but it won't leave your space, so you don't have an attack of opportunity right now. Nevada Wilkinson or whatever is currently.
okay, new
Washington
state, new last
Erickson.
name every time.
Is still trapped and did a lot of talk in there. And it's back to Aware.
I think, again, as far as Aware knows, breaking this wall is the only way that we're going to get this guy out of chains, which is the only way that we're going to stop this whole process. So, with another, please, somebody, exploding the wall! Aware is going to throw down the bow, drop down to all fours, and they're going to get very furry. They're going to start fleshing out through the shoulder. They're going to have 2 big horns start growing out of their head as a deep growth is now standing in front of the wall, ready to charge.
A what? Yeah. A what? So can you repeat?
Is this Vor?
Yeah, it's in my bestiary. A deep roth, Rothe. It's like a
Drought.
big yak,
Yeah, droughting to keep them as pets.
Big yak. Okay.
Big
Yeah.
yak.
angry cow,
Big yak.
angry furry cow.
Cool. And so that's your undergod power, because obviously normally that'd be like a druid's wild shape, but this is your undergod power.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, that's my action. I can't move until I.
Cool. So that happened, and it is now Rath's turn.
The mage hand will float over to the golem next to Phoebe
Yep.
and will press the button on the immovable rod marked Bop It.
Twisted.
I knew what I was doing when I gave you the opportunity to. Yep.
Flick it.
Flick is not on there, unfortunately, Tom. It's only 2 buttons.
Yeah.
But the immovable rod is now wedged into the golem, probably in front
When
of
you
its
say,
chest.
when you say wedged in, there's no
No opening?
there's no opening, so it can be right in front.
It has a
But
weird crown
It
on.
does have a weird crown. You could put it between the crown and
Yeah,
its head.
anywhere where there's a access point.
Okay, cool. There's now like
Not
a,
like that.
a jaunty immovable rod.
And it is locked in place.
Okay. So, Tender.
Right, it should be stuck now, I think.
Thank you.
All right. Bollocks. Pretty much run out of spells here, Hawaii Smith.
Ilsmedai.
Why is everyone saying different names? Ilsmedai.
Maybe later.
All right, yeah. Well, do you have any ideas how to break these chains at all?
Over there, the whole thing with the saying it'll set you free. But I can't reach it because I'm in here, so I think that's the point of it.
Bollocks. All right. Tender just says he tries to run past the golem. And
Run round it.
Yeah, as he's running round it, obviously.
Good.
But like as he's going past Phoebe, just says, "Stay where you are." Right.
If you're using your dash to get to the other end.
Yeah.
Because you can do a little bit of a curve to make sure you're not within the golem's range.
And also runs past a big angry yak, just kind of going, "Okay, that's new."
The yak is at the wall. Like the yak is
the yak's at the wall. So
Towards a big angry yak.
You can get to the yak.
I'm gonna get into the yak.
Okay, you've got a bonus.
I mean,
you could inspire a yak.
Inspire the yak.
I think that's your main
Live
option.
the American dream.
Yeah. I'm afraid I don't know that the yak is aware right now, as it were. I don't think.
You didn't see it?
You didn't see that happen? Like I stealthed into a yak?
Aware's been a baboon before.
It was 60 feet away when
And I was
he was
very
talking to
much
someone
kind
else.
of in on the chains and everything. I'm assuming that he's going to piece together that Aware is gone and the yak is there. Yeah. But right now, I have no reason to give you inspiration.
Polaris. Everything is slow.
I like this
You can make a bonus action or an action.
How far away is the thing?
15 feet.
I'm gonna use
move.
my full movement
It shouldn't be able to move.
to
No,
run.
but it moved.
It moved
after-
before your
that's
You
what it
could,
currently
turn.
but you
is.
could throw attack. You could stay out of range of it.
I'm just gonna run towards it because I don't understand.
Fair.
I'm gonna hold it with two hands and run towards it and go. Me hearties.
I like to think that had already started by the time 10 minutes started.
I've rolled an 18.
You do manage to hit it.
Wonderful news. That's. Oh, I hope Beyond also takes a long time to load. It's doing that because I hit the wrong page.
It's starting to sound like a beat.
Which beetle?
My trident sinks in and does 12 magical piercing damage. And I go, ha, and then my turn ends.
Did you narrate Thomas the Tank Engine?
Do.
Faster now, that means round. Phoebe.
Okay. So, two people are at the wall.
Two at the wall. Polaris is right next to you because
Yep.
the golem has come up to you.
Yep.
And Wrath is still at the Ilsmedai.
Ilsmedai.
Montana James continues to be trapped. Cool.
If you go, it shouldn't be able to follow you. They might hit you as you run.
That's the problem. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna move back towards Ilsmedai.
Okay.
Still keeping, because I'd like to protect people. So still keeping within range. So as I'm
Yes, because you moved like 15 feet ahead,
Yeah.
but for you to, because it came to you, you can now go 15 feet back to Ilsmedai and just about keep it in range.
that's what I would like to do, please.
Okay, so you just back away.
Can I try backing away in a way that means I won't get hit?
You can disengage. Takes an action.
Yeah. But all you're using other than that is movement, so you can do that.
Yeah, the thing is with the concentration. I can't really do anything else and keep these scary Oscar boys still around. So I'm going to disengage.
Yep.
If you move back 15 feet to Kentucky Smith or whatever the hell,
Yeah.
It'll still be affected by them as well.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do.
And it
So
can't move.
That's
Fingers
fine.
crossed.
We're gonna. We now come to its turn.
So yeah,
So it takes the
but
necrotic damage.
it starts its turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Roll damage.
Very much so.
11. 14, please, necrotic damage.
Okay. It's starting, like, you are seeing heavier and heavier chunks get taken out of it. Kind of one wing is, starting to crumble away kind of thing. But it is still standing quite strong. And so it's got a gyroscopic-like crown. To actually, there's no way of fully jamming that in a way that, say, ducking or taking time to move out won't allow it to move out of that.
What's its intelligence score, Chloe?
3.
It's up to you.
I'm going to roll to see if it realizes. Because it's going to try and
It can try and
slam
move.
attack you.
It can try and move the rod if it wants to. It's a DC 30 strength check.
To be honest, strength's all right. I have to go by my own strictness that I subjected my players to before, so I can either make this intelligence check or I can do the strength thing. You had a glowing hand.
I did.
And its passive is quite high. It's gonna try and do a strength to. It's got a better chance. Yeah, it's just going to see if it can get like a nat 20 and move this immovable rod. Because who knows, sometimes it happens. Oh my god!
It actually happened! I'm the witness! I'm going to be on the news!
This is the way that
That's her, Your Honor! That's her!
Sometimes good things happen to bad golems, yes! Okay, so...
Hey, remember when you had the movable rod? That was cool. Remember that one time we had a cool thing?
More like movable.
The golem manages, just like, you see the strain of, like, the rock and the hard place of the stone of the golem pushing this immovable rod.
Oh dear.
Yeah, pushes it with your little mage hand still
I'm
there,
gonna
presumably.
die.
Pushes it out of the way. That's its action, so it at least won't be able to take the attack action, but it is currently barreling straight towards you. Because now you're the person that's doing the most damage to it, and it's not too bothered about this one over here.
Hey.
So, runs away from you. Again, you can't do attacks of opportunity.
Yeah, I got that.
And Ilsmedai is still trapped and not really able to do much from within the chains. Aware.
So, having looked it up on the wiki, the deep growth's average weight is 700 pounds.
Whee!
And they are
boy.
4 foot tall. So,
He's a little chunky boy.
Now that's
barrel
something
of lead.
the Museum of English Rural Life would love to see.
In all.
so all 4 foot of it rears back and just slams its head into this wall.
It does want to jam.
Headbutts the wall
Can you make me an attack roll
to see if I hit the wall.
to see if you manage to break the right thing?
22.
With
Whoa.
a 22, do yaks, do they have horns? Or
It's got curling horns at
little-
the sides, which I would assume means that there's a little bit of a bony plate.
Yeah.
It's designed to take some head impact, this beast.
What happens is
I'm not going near that.
as you
He's an
just
angry chunky boy.
as this absolute unit headbutts
Cannon.
this huge wall on a couple of the little outcroppings where things are balanced, they just suddenly, with the rippling of that through that wall, they fall off, and these bird cages made of stone just crack open, and as though it was smoke, these huge chains just dissipate and release off of Ilsmedai. And And the yak did good.
They can finally be useful.
Is there anything else you want to do in terms of movement?
Is he now released?
Pardon me? But yes.
They are now
the
released.
chains have now gone.
How far is the unit from the golem?
The unit is about 45 feet from the golem.
Okay, in which case I am going to turn and charge at the golem's back.
Okay.
I can't make an attack. I
Yeah.
can't actually connect the attack, but I will get
But you're
within
ready to for the
centimeters.
next. Yeah. Cool. Wrath.
Can I get in between it running in to attack Phoebe and Phoebe?
You can go up to it, but it's already gotten up to Phoebe on its turn.
Okay. Sorry, just having a think.
There comes a time in every young D&D player's life where they must sit back and have a think.
I will walk up to it and I will change appearance to look like the undergod of destruction and everything else whose temple we are in. So similar to it, but in humanoid form.
Okay, yeah, so basically without wings.
I can manifest wings that wouldn't work.
Can you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you look like quite a slender femme figure, dressed in black, with you. I guess you wouldn't be able to create the crown.
No.
But yes, dressed in black and with kind of spindly wings.
And I walk up to it and bellow, "Stop!" in the most imperious voice I can.
Intimidation with advantage, I guess.
Sure, I'll take it. Thank you.
Yes, it's still not going to be the easiest DC, but
That's fine. With advantage. Nice, nice. 25.
Whoa.
here's that. Looks at you. Might pause. We'll see.
Trying to be all imperious.
Tender.
Has it stopped moving?
No. If anything, it's got closer to you.
Ooh.
It did something weird to Polaris, and
No, Tender's now the other side by the wall.
Yeah. I'm
oh,
by
of
the
Where
course,
the yak
sorry,
were.
sorry, yes.
Tender's with the yak.
It's
But it's heading towards.
it's heading.
pocket of
It's
the
currently
yak.
heading towards Phoebe.
I am going to use hold person.
Won't work, did it?
Huh?
Won't work.
Is it not a person?
No, it's a construct.
Said golem.
Oh, yeah, I think I came across this on the other.
Can you laugh at it or make it laugh?
I could try
We do.
laughing
We
at
do
it.
have someone that's good at making things laugh.
I'm
very
going
kind
to.
of voice,
I need it to stop. I don't think we got much of a chance of destroying this thing. So, I'm.
Might be stopping already, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I am going to. Something very funny about the image of him running back again. After having run.
Yeah, you got there.
Yeah,
The yak
yeah,
did the
destroyed
thing,
the
and
thing,
then
and I'm
you
going to
can-
run back.
Come on, Grandad.
You can run back. If you dash, you can get right up to it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll be 15 feet away.
I'm going to dash, and as a bonus action, I'm going to inspire Phoebe.
How do you do that?
It's going to be like, which is pretty scary.
What's your inspiration die at the moment?
I think it's a D6.
Okay.
I'll check.
Your 6th level, it's a D8.
It's a D8.
Okay. I just could, because I definitely could have been using that. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Tom forgets the rules.
Chloe does as well. You should have already had a saving. You should get a saving throw at each of your turns. I think I was too distracted by you doing slow mo.
Can I have advantage on this saving throw, which would kind of be the same thing?
Yeah, I'll allow that. And it's now your turn. It's at the end of your turn.
Okay, fine. Well, then should I do? Nah, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do what we said. It hasn't run. It has run away from me again.
Yes, it has. It's gone another 15 feet.
Where to this time?
Towards Phoebe, because Phoebe backed away.
She did. Yes.
If it ain't broke.
I try and hit it.
Oh.
I mean, 22.
Yep.
Be a fighter. It's actually really fun. That does another a
And
D8
this is without
plus
any
6.
like special boomings or anything.
No boomings, though. Now you mentioned it. No, I mean I wasn't doing it. So that is 13 magical piercing once again. But I can't do bonuses or reactions, so I'm just like.
Can you now roll to break
Let's-
it?
Save with advantage.
The first roll's an 18. The second is not an 18.
18 is enough.
Great. It would have been. Was it wisdom?
Yes.
It would have been 19 just for the purists among us.
So you do like
For the
after
fans
this,
at
you do
home.
break out of the slow.
Don't fix it.
I'm
back.
Okay.
Why were all of you moving so quickly back then?
It's right up at me, I guess. And I've disengaged and run away before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You're feeling weirdly inspired by that comment from Tender.
Yeah, I'm feeling hugely inspired. But I've got this concentration spell up.
Which you might
You
use
can,
if it
you
hits
can
you.
still cast another spell provided it's not a concentration. You just can't cast 2 concentration spells at once.
Oh,
The rules of 5e.
that sounds amazing. I'm gonna look into what I can do.
Everybody's singing more than the bard today.
We just missed you, man.
You forgot your loot.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Okay. It's missing some of its hit points, is it not? This
Yeah.
golem.
Yes.
You could say.
I would, and I'm right next to it. Yeah. So
Yes,
I'm
it's almost entirely on top of you. It's come right up to you.
That's cool. I like that. I would very much like to toll the dead, please. Where I point at a creature I can see within range. The sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for a minute. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save, you say?
Yes.
Its wisdom score is
Not bad.
not good. That's a 6.
No. And it takes. It increases. Okay, so it's currently 2d12 plus another d6, from what I understand.
Because it's
Okay.
missing the, yeah.
Yep. So.
Could be
Well, that's nothing. That's also nothing. So that's 5. 6.
7, 8.
Yeah, 6 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
It was a cantrip, though, so.
Yeah.
You know, I
You've not lost anything.
no, I haven't lost anything.
And you've got your guardians.
And I've got my guardians. And yeah, so
Any movement? Any bonus?
I don't think I have anything to do that won't result in me getting a hit. I'm wondering whether it's worth me getting a hit, to be honest.
5, 4,
Yep.
3,
Yep.
2. You're staying where you are?
No, I'm moving.
Oh, you're moving.
I'm moving, and I'm going to move. I'm just trying to keep the golem away from, like, Tender and the recently rescued California Jones, and just, like, keep going. So just darting about the room, more or less. So I'm trying to move away.
So basically, but you're trying to move out of
Yeah.
its space. That's a 19 on the dice.
Yes.
Basically, as you go.
Can I use cutting words?
Ooh,
on that?
okay. What do you say?
It's a reaction. So a creature I can see within 60 feet makes an attack roll or ability check.
Yep.
I can expend one of my bardic inspiration dice roll to subtract that number from the creature's roll.
So tell me what your cutting words are, and
My
then roll
cutting
the dice.
words are. Oh no, you don't.
Nice.
Good
I
dad energy.
You
subtract
are a dad, yeah. BDE.
1 from that.
So
One.
18
So it's now
I mean-
18.
That does nothing.
on the dice as well.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like-
no, you don't. Oh yes, you do.
it's Panto all over again.
College of Pantomime. Wait, I need to
So-
make this.
Slams into you. with the full weight of its body. And this is going to be... Oh, this
Ouchie.
is going to be quite a few things. Let's just do quick maths, 'cause that's
Quick maths.
12, 15, that is 21 points of damage.
Well,
As it just absolutely
I'm very
almost
badly
caves in
hurt.
on you.
cool.
Also, it's a con saving throw to keep the spell.
Yes.
Okay. And was that was a reaction? That's nice. Okay. Cool.
So can you roll me a constitution check or saving throw? Saving throw.
It's a saving throw.
Saving throw to see if you can maintain concentration.
Oh no.
So it's either 10 or...
That's a nat 1, lads.
Oh, mate.
They pop out of the your spiritual guardians
Oscar.
At least they're not judging me anymore.
and disappear. However, that makes you a bit less threatening to the... You are no longer slowed.
Do they know that?
Well,
Got
you
intelligence
were
of 3.
speaking, and you were speaking slowly, and then you spoke quickly.
Does
I'm
me
done
look-
by my bits.
Does me looking anything like their patron matter at all?
It matters about you.
Cool.
However, it's not like the god is not their patron. They were made in the image of it, but it's not like the god was the one who gave them their orders.
Cool.
So I think it's gonna.
Whose turn is it?
It's the golems, because the golem goes after Phoebe.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So golem is gonna go for you.
Backstrokes.
It's gonna use multi-attack, so it's gonna do 2 slam attacks. That's an 18 and a 15, but that is a 28 and a 25. So that is first attack is 10 is 16 points of damage,
Great.
and the second one is 12, 16, 22 points of damage.
Is that 38?
16, 22, yes.
1 second.
You alive?
Yeah, well, we'll see. Hang on a second. Okay. We've never talked about this. My Undergod ability
Yes,
triggers when I'm the target of a successful attack.
yes.
I've just been the target of 2 successful attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Does it trigger both times? Does it
Is your
stack?
undergod ability a reaction?
Well, it's an Undergod ability. It's free action kind of stuff. There's no
Oh.
reaction use. The use of it has rules, but the thing that triggers on my next successful attack after this, I would deal an additional 3d6 of damage, as we've discussed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when I'm the target of a successful attack, I absorb and stop. Now, if this is, oh shit, I didn't think of this, and you want to rule all it now, completely fine. But if I've now got 66 to throw out, I'm also real okay with that.
I'm gonna say that with this, so it's technically doing 2 attacks.
It doesn't say the first time you are, or you can't store more than 1, or anything like that.
I'm gonna say because in the previous session you had your god come to you and talk to you about trying to control your power better, and you did all recently level up. I might have to talk to you after the show if I realise I've screwed myself, but in this instance, counts as both.
Hell yes, I'm tough enough. In which case, well, fine, it's not my turn, but I will
Yeah.
note the hell out of that. And also, I am still up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fighters.
I know.
Ilsmedai gets up, uses half of their movement to do that. However, the rest of it is... Ilsmedai just kind of looks around, sees a yak. Thank you! And then runs straight towards the golem and just tries to position themselves between the golem and between other people. The golem, having just slammed into you, tries to kind of cram themselves and stop it that way. Doesn't make any particular attacks currently, but is going to ready an action just in case. I know had to use dash to get to it because it was using half their action, so can't actually. Okay, then we are back to the top. We're back to aware.
So I think absolute unit, the attack yak,
Yes.
Yak
has,
attack.
has seen all of this as they're charging up, and rather there is going to be a headbutt attack, but its goal is not to inflict damage. If it does secondarily, great, but its goal is to push this creature as far away from the people it's attacking as possible.
So you're making a shove attack,
Yeah.
basically. Cool. Okay. Make me an attack roll.
That's a 6.
Ooh.
Oh, it is. Actually, what's your? Sorry, it should be just contested. It's using the attack action, but weirdly, you're not making an attack roll. What's your? Add your strength to that.
Then it's a 7.
A 7. Okay, we'll see if you're like 10 on the dice. Stands its ground as a huge stone statue might, and all you do is just kind of jam
Okay.
into its side.
In which case, I'm going to use a bonus action to disengage.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you see here is this 4 foot, 700-pound barreling little beast come smack into this thing, have no effect whatsoever, and then kind of tap dance off to the side.
Yakety sack.
No.
Wrath. You've changed your shape, and also your hand is still there. You did get the sense of when the golem was moving that it was keeping a better distance around you, so it seems to be intimidated by you.
Doesn't help though. I can't tell it to do anything different. It's still within melee range of me, isn't it?
It moved to
Polaris is
Polaris.
next to me. The only person who moved away was Phoebe. Polaris and I are still standing next to it.
fair. Okay.
Is there any way to get a 20-foot cube with it in it that doesn't hit me or Polaris or anyone else? Just hits it.
If you get it just in the corner, yes.
Okay, I pull out my wand of web and target it so it is caught within the webbing and no one else is, and just.
Am
out
I
in one
making
shot.
a save?
It does it on its turn.
Oh, okay.
Any creature that starts its turn in the webs or that enters them during its turn.
Okay. Anything else you want to do? You can use a bonus to move the mage hand and the rod, or?
I can't use a bonus to move the mage hand or the rod because it's an action to turn the rod off. And it's an action to move the mage hand, so no, I can't. That's
okay.
staying right there.
Tender.
I am going to run over to Phoebe and just get to her and just say, well, I suppose I add golems to the list of things that don't listen to me when I tell them no, and use healing. What is it? Touch hands, healing word. What have I got? Cure wounds. 1d4 plus 4. That's a d8.
That's
but it is 1d8 plus 4, which is what I'm supposed to do anyway. So, and that was an 8, which is great.
Hey.
So
8 is great.
yeah, 12.
Thank you.
Hot stuff.
Anything else you'd like to do?
I am. Where is what's their name again? Sorry.
Ilsmedai.
Ilsmedai.
Is right next to the golem.
I'm just gonna while standing next to Phoebe, just say, "You said you could help."
Okay, but when I do this, you have to keep trusting me, okay? Please, some people get a bit weird. Just some people get weird, but I'm on your side, okay?
All right.
Polaris.
How far away is the golem?
Well, it attacked
next to
you,
you.
so it's right there.
Hi there. I would like to attack it. Let's see what happens right now. Ooh. That would be a 13, but I'm going to use my inspiration. That's how annoyed I am at it. Well, it makes it a 14, which still misses. So,
Yep.
oh well. For my second attack, though, because extra attack. A lot more. 28.
Yes. That
Right.
will hit.
So I first do 10 magical piercing, and then rewinding slightly, when I was struck with all of these blows, my body the sea in me kind of very frothed up with lots of sea foam imagery, and almost like it was kind of turning into energy within me, and is now going to come out again. And we're about to find out as what type of energy.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that
Not lightning.
Polaris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Polaris, at first, when he was a young genasi, thought that he had been cursed with just constant lightning. It turns out he had the power to do other things as well that he only discovered in later life, but lightning is more likely than the other kinds of energy, put it that way. So, let's roll a d12, everyone's favourite kind of roll. Oh! It's... fucking hell. It's magic damage, which doesn't exist, but it's force damage in-game. But the theme in this thing here
It
is
has
different
different
types
types
loads of
things.
magic
It's
starts. So what does magic look like? I've never seen that.
Well,
Maybe, I'm going to say
was-
Polaris has never actually... Were you giving
Oh,
this to
okay.
me?
Well, I was happily would allow you to describe it yourself if you want me to.
No, I'm
but-
okay with that. This thing is clearly a creature born of magic, like it is an animated construct.
Yeah.
So again, let's roll the damage and let's see. So this will be 6d6. Is that okay? Given the
Yeah.
that's what we call. Okay, I'm gonna. May I borrow these?
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Chloe is too confident.
Okay, that is
This
12
thing is
so
not going
far,
to die.
12. Okay.
and then load of rubbish. Another 4, so 16. So as my trident pierces it, it also now. Yeah, the kind of where the wound is, obviously bits fly off because it's magical piercing. It those little bits of gravel places, but also places where it wasn't struck. Elements of it kind of cleanly, almost like Lego bricks, kind of fly off, and it deconstructs, if you will, as this energy that kind of looks like sea foam surging up into my arms and into my hands, and then through my trident, just and then it takes that damage. How does it look?
It looks. If it had blood, then blood would be pouring forth from it.
Okay.
It does look, especially with the deconstruction.
Yeah.
It looks incredibly shaky. However,
Ooh.
who is within 5 feet of this? You're within 5 feet.
Very much so.
Did Wrath get?
No, I'm still within 5 feet of it.
You're still within 5 feet.
We're away.
We're away.
Yep,
two
moved
are
away
away
from
and
you.
away,
Okay, so
and
it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
And
Could-
Ilsmedai as well.
Ilsmedai, I will make the roll for them. Could you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
What?
Because there is something that happens when this particular stone construct takes enough damage. There are chambers inside it that get smashed and cracked.
Oh my god! Okay, I'm okay with this. 18.
15.
Pass. Fail. As does Ilsmedai. So, half damage for Polaris. That's 15, and then halved to 7. So that's poison damage. You are not poisoned, but you have taken poison damage. As basically in this deconstruction of the small Lego bricks of reality coming out of this golem, something cracks and plumes of poison smoke come out of one of the small things inside of it and just break apart in front of you.
Okay.
I would like
So
to use
it
my
is-
action surge and hit it twice more.
Okay. Yeah, that.
It's kind of the frenzy of watching this come out and also having done so much. It just
Yeah, exactly.
This-
You've
okay,
never
it's
done
doing-
something quite
No,
that much.
and also
to
it's
anything.
doing this now. It needs to die now. Let's see. Yeah, 28, 26, and 23.
Yeah,
So
both of those hit.
okay, 2 more d8s. That's a 1, which I forgot. I have Great Weapon Master, so because I'm using it with 2 hands, I can re-roll, which makes it a 4, which makes it 10 piercing damage magical. That is a 7 plus 6 is 13 magical piercing damage. And I guess this, as I withdraw the trident for the 4th time, I take a deep breath using my second wind, because action surge isn't an action, it's just a thing you do. I still have bonus action. I use my second wind and regain some hit points.
Nice.
Fighters.
Fighters who aren't slow.
Yeah,
Nice.
true.
Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Can-
It's a D10, I think, but I will
Can
do
I
that.
use a reaction on taking damage?
It depends what you're trying to do.
Once per short rest, when I take damage, I can use my reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet away.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Cool. Gone.
I have regained 12 hit points.
And I'm invisible. I'm somewhere in the room.
You're now invisible. it's looking like parts of it, even when it's not being hit now, parts of it are crumbling and falling off.
Cool.
And it's less kind of gracefully and eerily moving through the space, and it's now more staggering as kind of it leans on a leg, and that leg just crunches beneath it.
Yeah, I'd like to scorching ray it.
Okay.
God.
Because it's got poison coming out of it, yeah? Poison smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So poison reacting with fire? Is this just video game logic?
I don't know science, but
Me neither.
But burning up a poisonous gas is
yeah,
like a logical
but
thing. I think in
I
D&D
will
it doesn't do
allow
anything.
that
But
burning
yeah.
up a poisonous gas may have
Cause-
additional impacts.
Yeah, just I got kicked out of chemistry, so maybe we don't listen to my science knowledge. So I create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at the target within range. My range is 120 feet, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really eerie image as well, because it's still raining inside here.
Yeah. Wait, does that mean
No,
it doesn't-
this
okay.
is magical fire. I'm not going to
Yes.
go everything slightly damp.
Cool.
You're fine.
So I have to make a ranged spell attack for each ray.
Okay, and all 3 are going towards the golem.
Yeah,
I
so
presume?
the
Yep.
first one was a 17 plus something. Sorry, I can't remember. 7.
If that's an attack, that's fine.
Yeah.
17's what you needed.
11 plus. Sorry, D&D Beyond, having a really good time. It is a wisdom. So that's 16.
Nope. 19 plus 5. So roll me damage for 2 of those.
Yeah, I would love to. May I borrow your D6 this time, so I don't have to do this?
I have many. Would you like just the 2?
I'll take the 2 so I can keep track. 2 of them hit, right? The first one is 12 points of damage. And the second one is 3 points of damage. So, yeah.
Roller coaster.
Cool. Roll me an extra D8 as some of it starts to catch on fire, and just inside its chest cavity, which had cracked open.
7.
Cool. That just like suddenly engulfs in there, and you see it just almost like this smoke coming through the cracks in it now from where that caught on fire. Okay, it is looking incredibly bad. It is now its turn.
Makes a dexterity saving throw because of the webbing.
Of course, all of this happened whilst it was still within webbing.
Yup.
So dex save, yes?
Yes, please.
That's a 12.
It is restrained. Its attacks have disadvantage. It can take an action to make a strength check to break free.
Yeah, it's gonna try and break free, maintaining like eye contact with you, who seems to be its greatest adversary.
Oh, yeah. Nobody slows me down.
That is a 16 on the dice. That is.
Yeah, it breaks free, but that is the end of its turn.
Okay, that's fine. But just like.
I can now laugh at normal
it is the one
speed.
who is slow now and just like slowly moves out of this webbing
The
towards
webbing
you.
remains where it is, and if it doesn't move out of the webbing, it'll have to do it again.
The sail's on the other mast now, my friend.
It will move past, like, out of the webbing.
Does that mean we get attacks of opportunity?
Polaris and Ilsmedai are both there.
You can go first.
Hit it.
You're
Oh,
higher
if
in
only I
initiative.
could still not take reactions.
Well, that probably serves me right. That is a 17.
That's what you needed.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh.
Meets
Well, that's a 2, so great weapon fighting. That's a 3. Well, that makes it 9.
Yeah!
So it's just broken free. Which direction was it going in relation to me?
Towards you.
Oh. So it's
Yeah.
kind of just like that.
Yeah.
It has a big old explosion-y, poison
It has
gassy
like
hole
a
in its chest.
still kind of smouldering cavern in its chest, which is sending smoke upwards through the cracks in it.
We already
Pieces of
had
it
a
are
whole
falling
bit
off.
of maintaining eye contact.
Yeah,
I'd like
as
to
it was
say
coming
that
out the web.
without not breaking the eye contact, I just drive the trident straight into the hole in its chest, and then like get real close, almost too close, like Saturday morning cartoon, not okay close, but it's like, and then I think if it can just drop like all the suddenly because I am butter genasi. If all of the weight suddenly is dead and on my trident, it's like oh, and it just falls vertically on itself like a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
Controlled
is,
demolition.
all of this kind
The god of controlled
dust from the stone as it cracks away, and Polaris is just left standing in this absolute mound of what was once a stone golem. And you are now out of initiative order.
Who's hurt? Everyone all right?
Wink out of being invisible. Not doing my best.
Okay.
I didn't use lightning.
You didn't use lightning!
That is the reaction that deserved.
I didn't know I could channel what felt like magic before.
The yak looks and goes, "Well done, Captain." And then kind of blossoms up into Callisto.
How do you form the words in a manner that still sounds like your accent when you are one of these things? I've been meaning to ask.
Training.
Really?
It takes a long time.
How many people
Alright.
are hurt? Hands up. 1,
Only a bit, don't worry. It's fine.
2. You
No,
fine?
darling, I'm fine.
I'm not remotely fine. No.
Okay, 3. You alright?
I'm alright, actually, yeah.
Okay. And
Considering I ran to both
cast-
ends of this battlefield.
I cast Mass Healing Word.
Oh.
Up to 6 creatures of my choice I can see gain hit points equal to 1d4
Plus
Plus.
5.
my spellcasting ability
Yep.
modifier.
Your spellcasting's plus 5, given
Yeah.
what you
What
were
we
adding earlier.
already know.
So, well,
Everyone.
It's really the thought that
everyone
counts.
takes 6
Yay!
healing. And I guess my healing words, because it says I have to call out words of restoration.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my healing words are just, and let the light flood into you, and let the light flood out of you.
I'm regretting asking for healing.
This is all I've got. That's all we were taught.
I had a second mate like this once. It didn't work out.
Okay, well, you're welcome.
I feel much better, darling. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I don't want to do stretches on the bridge. Let me drive my ship.
My mage hand twists it and brings me the rod.
Yeah. Just floats down next to you.
Well, you were useful.
Look, I did my... Oh, you're talking to the rod. All right, yeah.
Oh, you could be talking to Adventurer McAdventureface right there.
Yeah, look.
So my name's Ilsmidai.
Yeah, what exactly was it you were about to do
Well,
that said we weren't going to... that made you think that we weren't going to trust you?
Hang on, I must have missed something. What?
Yeah. Basically, Ilsmidai over here was going to help us out, but turns out we can actually handle ourselves. And to sort of set up what it was that she was about to do,
they
were about to do, they said that we had to trust them even after it had happened. I'm
What?
just curious because I feel like we missed out on a show.
I'm happy to trust them for now, I suppose. Sorry, that sounded more negative than I intended it
Yes,
to. That is a problem
yeah.
with my tone of voice.
I mean, it also sounded alarmingly positive, given we met American Samoa Winterbottom, or whatever it is. about 30 seconds ago.
Doing territories now?
Can we find... Yeah, Guam's next.
Guam's next is not a great
Oh.
thing to say.
Ilsmidai,
yes.
What?
Ilsmidai. Yes.
what are you doing here?
Okay. I don't know. Have you heard of something called the Heart of Beasts?
No.
Roll deception.
Nat 20.
So it canonically did not sound like that. That was not remotely convincing.
Sorry,
Canonically,
so
I think it's like a double bluff. Of
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
no one would lie
Yeah.
and use that tone to
Yeah.
lie.
Well,
So
it's like
fine.
you know he's lying, but
But there's
you
just
think
nothing.
That, you think he's lying so much that it must be true.
Sure.
Yeah.
David, what?
No, like you.
Oh well,
No.
it's
He always sounds like that.
No, don't.
Quit while you're ahead.
but it's a magical item.
Why do you need it?
Well, okay. In the interest of being completely open and
Or saving your life?
I think You're being a bit catty here. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's sit down.
Ilsmidai takes a breath, and there is a ripple in the air around them as suddenly their shape shifts and expands until they are in the shape of somewhere between a young and an adult, maybe an adolescent bronze dragon, and their voice, still recognizably, their voice comes out. Well, it's my brother. It's a dragon egg. Well, not a normal dragon egg, but yes, you did save and help me. So,
In what way is it not a normal dragon egg that's your brother?
Petrified, but it's impossible to get him back. But people try to. It's a magical item.
I'm sorry. No one should use one of your kin as a triviality.
Thank you for not reacting how a lot of people react when I retake my natural form.
Oh, I look terrified.
Oh, teenage dragons scare the living shit out of me.
Wait, you're a teenager? Hi.
Well, I don't know if it makes the same sense, but I guess.
Never mind. Thought I could have someone my age finally on this trip.
I won't hurt you, I promise.
No, it's fine.
You had your chance.
Can I just do a quick insight check? Just
Sure.
since.
Sort of your thing.
Well.
No.
No, that's a 7 on the dice, so.
Seems sincere.
A hypothetical question.
Right.
If we had been sent here to retrieve it,
You don't know what it is.
I don't. They do, maybe. Depends on what's more useful.
Tender's not.
I mean, I'm not going to get you to roll at all if that's what you say, because they're not that dumb.
We've been sent here to retrieve it, yes.
For whom?
The tree.
And it's not really about who we're getting it for. It's who we're keeping it from.
Which isn't you, by the way.
No,
you're
it's not.
Completely not. If you want to go with, you're more than welcome. But
Unless you're part of a weird death cult that seems to want to bring about the death of all things so they can live forever.
are you really into henges?
I don't believe I'm familiar with henges.
Then you're not.
And I'm not part of a death cult.
Can I roll an insight check on that, please?
Sure.
Can I roll insight check on the statement, I'm not part of a death cult? How many times in your workplace have you done that?
16.
Not part of a death cult.
Ooh, tell me, your brother.
Yes.
A couple of questions. I'm sorry. You're the first dragon I've ever met. Pleasure. Why can he not be unpetrified?
Oh, it's a little bit difficult, but the medusa. Wait, I have to remember what I was, because I wasn't there. My mother was. She killed the medusa who petrified him at the very moment of petrification, so it both contains his soul and her soul. It's a very confusing thing, but we've tried how you would normally. Yes. It doesn't seem possible, and no one I know who knows magic has been able to do anything, so the best I can do is just make sure that he doesn't become someone's trinket.
Well, yeah. Why would anyone, I mean, not to be rude, but why would anyone want him? What can he do?
Combine the powers of a dragon and a medusa?
I'm sorry, I don't know much about my law. To do what?
Petrify and terrify in a single gaze, and have forms of. See, this is what I don't like. People seem to think that we always just try to scare people. Fear-based dominion over others.
Oh.
Are you saying...
Actually, yes. Wait, have you found it yet?
Are you saying that you don't want to unpetrify the egg, you just want to look after it and keep it safe so it's not in the hands of bad people, yes?
I can't unpetrify it. And what about the answer to my previous question
that
about
answers-
whether you found it?
We want to keep it safe. We've been tasked to find it and keep it safe, which is the same thing you want.
And actually, if it's about the people we work for have like access to really high level magic, and they've got some money because they've hired us, but they might be able to help source someone to look into the. I mean, I'm only lightly dabbling in necromancy at the minute, but there might be someone to separate the souls if that's what's happened.
I think our goals align.
We could get them on the well, not the phone, but we could have you talk to them if you like. The sending stone.
So you're not part of a death cult, but you're just dabbling in necromancy.
I'm dabbling in necromancy
It's
because
just a phase.
It's just me.
Look, I'm happy to. We, all of us in various ways, have powers beyond the usual variety of
saw.
magic. Yeah. I don't personally deal in souls. But as my colleague says, I'd be surprised if the tree didn't have somebody on the books who might be able to help. And from what you're saying, if we can separate out this soul conflagration, this would no longer be the Heart of Beasts, and therefore the Heart of Beasts would never fall into the hands of our enemies.
It does sound like we're on the same page.
Certainly not a bad idea.
We'd both get what we came here to do.
Show it to me, if you've got it.
With the greatest respect in the world, look at the five of us and look at you. If we show it to you and you decide that you don't want to work with us, there's little we can do to stop you.
Besides, I am sorry, we've kept it in a safe place. It would take quite some time to get to it.
How do you think I would? Do you think I'd fly out of here, gesturing at the stone tomb that is inside a mountain, that currently has one door that you've opened and a small outline of a doorway?
I don't know, but there's some way to go on developing a sense of trust here.
I mean, surely you could walk. We've seen you in human form.
Well, yes, but obviously I wouldn't be able to get away from you that far if I was. That was my point. As much as you do seem, if odd, sincere, for all I know, you've left it hidden with some associate or even someone who I am trying to get it from, and you were just going to lead me out of here under the pretense that you have it on you. And
What can we do beyond showing you the Heart of Beasts to assure you? I mean, I'm happy to stay in here as leverage. I don't mind. What can we do to make it
Hang on a sec. Silent image, which I can do at will, it into my hand. This is not it. This is an illusion of it. Seen it from many angles. We have it.
again, you could have seen it and left it somewhere.
You have the ability to terrify us with a look and then run away. And you could be working for this organization. I don't think you are, but frankly, it's a risk. We're struggling here with the organization we're working with.
If they wanted to be searching through our bodies, that would already be happening.
Mm-hmm.
If
Your call.
If you really think that little of me, then demeaning as it is, you have magical means. You could pin me to a wall and then show it to me actually, so that I wouldn't be able to move, but you would at least have demonstrated that you have it. I can't risk simply going out of this place and it potentially having been left here, or for all I know, being taken away by someone that you were in cahoots with right now, further and further from me. I would stoop to even that, being pinned to a wall by a
Get
rod.
it out.
it's in the bag of holding at the moment, so you can't.
Ah, I
do
see.
that.
It's with a
Beg
Wait,
your
what's
pardon.
it?
I do that for no reason.
Hey.
I think Aware is going to walk up to the dragon and lay a hand as close to shoulder height as possible. Gently.
Foreleg.
you're reaching up high. You're
Just
still not
kind of-
reaching the shoulder. Yeah.
And attempt to make eye contact. I understand that this is family, and that family is the most important thing that one can have. That this is what we have to protect. But please understand that you, compared to us, are rather mighty, and if we let you have everything that you want, there's no reason to believe that we'll survive. Now, you seem like a fantastic creature. I am so lucky to have met you. But could you please, for this, give us the trust that you'd like you to be given?
Roll persuasion.
13.
Can I help?
How are you assisting? It can be with something you say or expression something you do.
Again, I'm willing to offer you whatever is within my power to give, but I don't have much. If you want assurances, though they may be empty words, I can do that. But I'm happy to, if I have to stay here, and I don't know what you would want, but please let me assure you that I don't know. I'm not great with words. Sorry.
That much feels like your own independent persuasion roll to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Nat one. I do
Sounded like a
nothing.
nat one. Yeah.
Well, hold on.
I'm gonna
Plus
roll
3,
for the
but
first.
that's
That's a nat
nothing.
one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Looks like they kind of have a little moment of just looking at you, but then turn back to Aware. Know that if we get out of here and you have not been truthful, I will show you the same trust you are showing me right now, but if we get out of here and you have not been truthful, then I will show you the same wrath that you just showed that, and points to the pile of rubble.
Seems entirely fair.
Yep. Fine.
Good. Now, I am... well, this isn't going to... shape changes back into a person.
Would you mind stopping the rain?
Sorry, you haven't seen a medusa, have you? I need to keep this
Already
it's safety.
dealt with.
Petrified.
Just through there, actually.
Rather handily.
Goes up to the doorway, looks in, looks around, sees the petrified figure of Atoka on the floor, looks, and the internal rain stops. Right. So, is that all you came for?
Pretty much.
We are tasked with preventing certain items and the construction of certain things, henges, falling into the hands of, the wrong people. Like I said, Death Cult. Happy to go into more detail, but I think Death Cult sums it up.
Right. Well, if you're dealing with death cults and such, perhaps we should get out of here. How did you get in here?
Teleportation circle.
Aye, rather
I
unexpected.
think we got quite wet.
Currently underwater.
I can't imagine what dry feels like at the moment.
Right. I do know another route. It's not the driest.
That's
But-
fine. Well, no lightning.
Aye. You should all stay away from me. I'll go last, cover the rear.
There's a couple of rooms before. Sorry, I obviously don't fully understand everything that's happening.
Our friend
Yeah,
is
but-
not fantastic underwater. oddly.
Oh, that should be manageable.
Good.
Okay.
You spoke about the medusa. Did you know them?
Atoka, yes.
They kept calling the egg she.
Well, yes.
It's
The other part.
second soul.
The two souls.
Oh. Sister?
Partner, I think. To be honest, we didn't really talk in great detail. I only knew things secondhand because every time we talked, it was more, I want what you have.
We've set some wheels in motion to potentially get the Medusa unpetrified. Is that something?
Then we should move even quicker.
Okay.
It won't happen before tomorrow.
No.
You
Right.
said
Okay.
there are rooms. Do we need to be prepared for those rooms, or are they more empty and occasional treasure?
I love
Um,
occasional treasure.
Speaking of, I head back into the room where Atoka was.
Okay.
Pick up the other 3 items.
You have a necklace,
Order.
some rope,
Mhm.
and some cards.
Hey! I immediately pull through.
We getting toys.
You can make a very quick, just one Arcana roll, and this is just to identify which one of those is like worthless. Because it would be really funny actually if I'd just given you some cards.
I want that to be the case.
13. 14.
I wish that was. The necklace is just a beautifully carved, intricate necklace. The rope is a rope of climbing,
Ooh.
and the cards are a deck of illusions.
That does work for you quite well.
I will hand some stuff out, don't worry. I pocket everything and don't tell it. No, I walk out holding everything.
As you creep
Such a
back
rogue
out.
move.
I'm not
and-
creeping. I walked straight in and walked straight out. It wasn't like
Yes,
do
but
do
the
do do.
focus is currently on the humanoid dragon figure. You go pocket those things. Was it you were asking about the rooms to still be going to? The outline of the door, Hilsmadai walks back, pushes on it. Don't worry, they're safe, and goes and takes one step back, and there is this little of air from 2 holes either side of their head. It's you shouldn't be too concerned.
Are there going to be more dead snakes?
I haven't seen any snakes, dead or alive.
Aware's going to walk up to the little dais that they investigated before with all the lights on
Yes.
and go, I think this might be of use. This looks to be a map of some kind. I think we might be on it.
Some tombs have scrying rooms to see who's nearby, but you can investigate it more if you want. Now you've got the time.
Yarr.
Anyone who would like to can roll investigation.
24.
24.
24. Yeah.
24. Oh, sorry, is that your number?
Oh yeah.
What?
Not big enough for stranger friends.
The 2 individuals who rolled a 24, you realise that there are some compartments on the side of this, as in almost kind of drawer-like that you can drag out from the stone. There are small objects, and they seem to have names next to them. If this is a scrying room, it's reasonable, especially with your 24 on investigation. These are objects to use to scry with. And as you open up these drawers, Tender, in your head, you suddenly hear a very clear voice go, "Oh, it's you! Ah, it's you! Oh my God, it's you! It's you! I'm here! I'm here! I'm here! I'm here!"
Ah!
And that's where we're going to pause for the Yay!
Hey,
That's the start of the second half.
Hey!
So,
Cheers.
we left it with Tender, not for the first time in this campaign, hearing an unexpected voice in his head.
Love an unexpected voice.
It seemed rather excited. No one else hears this, but whether you notice that no one else hears it is up to you.
Who are you? Go, hang on. Can I roll the history to see if I recognize the voice before I ask that question?
Yeah, absolutely.
History check. That is a 20. Non-natural.
A non-natural 20. There's some... It doesn't feel... It feels like you should, but you wouldn't be able to put your finger on it.
20?
It's your...
Yeah.
It's your partner?
Yeah.
Like a natural
my
20
partner's
maybe would have... But yeah.
It's someone
Do
you
I-
married in another timeline.
Do I know you?
It's Isla. Of course you know me.
Do I know an eye?
You don't recognise that name, no.
Oh.
You're coming across like the worst men right now.
Oh, Isla. Yes, of course.
Oh,
my
you
God.
shitbag!
Roll deception!
You
Oh,
ass.
you monster!
From that convention.
Deception. That is a dirty 20.
What happens at the NEC?
Very dirty.
Nope. You sound different.
Yeah. I'm got a bit of a cough. Just now figuring out that I'm not supposed to know. Yeah, just for security purposes. Who do you?
Mother's maiden name.
Who am I? Hey? Oh, just. Who are you talking to?
What? I'm so... Why are you being weird?
Well, Isla, problem is, look, I'm going to come clean. I'm probably not who you thought I am, and I...
No, I mean, because I can only talk to you. If it was anyone else, I won't be able to talk to you, but I can, and so it's you.
Yep. Isla.
This is all telepathic, but
Oh, yeah.
obviously Tender is being a bit quiet for a little while.
I'm playing with magic items.
Isla, where are you right now?
I'm in a drawer.
Right. Can I just do a quick investigation check and see if I can see anything in the drawer?
Uh-huh.
Probably not. That is a 16.
There is just a label in the drawer, and the label says Kallaia's diary. Kallaia is the undergod of the god of destruction, the one who was the image of the golem before, and who this is the tomb of.
Can I pick up the diary?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Wait.
Hi.
Oh, hello. Isla.
Okay.
What are you doing in Kallaia's diary?
Wait. Why are you being so weird? Like, why are you saying Kallaia
Well-
like that's not you? Why are you saying like I'm not in your diary?
Oh, I like to talk about myself in the third person sometimes. You know that. Listen, Isla, no. I'm not here to try and trick you. I've done it once. That wasn't really trying. Look, I'm not Kallaia.
I don't know how that makes sense. Because I can only... You made me so that I was the only one who could talk to you, so that I could take in all your secrets, so you could tell me everything that was happening, and then I could talk to you back if you needed me to. Remember? Because I remember everything, so I remember the moment that you made me. And you said, you told me all this stuff. And so it must be you, because otherwise how am I talking to you?
Well, you make a good point.
So Aware has noticed that in bringing everyone to the map, the only other person investigating it has gone quiet and is now making I'm talking to people faces.
You found a couple of items, like there was a bound kind of bracelet, and there was a small wooden ring, and those have other names beneath them as well.
I'm going to try and boop.
You're going to try and boop Tender?
Yeah.
Whilst Tender is kind of unsure and holding a book.
Tender's just holding a book and like staring into space. And so a very
Nerd.
gentle boop.
Ah! I'm
Hi.
talking to a diary.
Oh, don't do that.
No.
I've read that that's a bad thing to do.
It's actually a very, just putting your thoughts down on a piece of paper, somewhere where they're all lined up and they're good and they're actually in a...
That's how it starts, and then you're taking your fleet to a whirlpool.
Oh, we're going to have to deal with more big snakes.
Have you opened the diary?
Not yet,
Okay.
no. Listen, I think, and he just goes back in his head for a second and says, hey, you can't hear what's going on outside, can you?
Well, no, I can only hear it when you're trying to talk to me, because that's the whole way it works. Remember?
Of course,
I mean, it's
yeah.
been a very long time. But yes.
How could I forget? All right, I'm going away for a second, but I'll be right back.
Okay,
all right?
please don't put me back in the drawer.
I'm not putting you back in the drawer.
Okay.
All right.
What is going on?
The diary is talking to me in my brain, in my head.
And what is it saying?
No, it's for reals.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
And what does it say?
It's saying that I must be the god of destruction, which it made a very good
Undergods.
case. Undergod of destruction. Made a very good case for that. And right now, I'm not entirely sure that I'm not.
Your powers don't come from the under. No, what?
No, they don't. But,
You
it's
don't
all...
seem very destruction-y.
Nah, more like old.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
Who's
Listen,
being catty?
I can destruct things. I
Apparently, grammar.
That was the
That
last
kind
we
of
ever
easy.
saw of Tom Black.
We need you to play your character
No,
for
we
the
don't.
next
Tom has
hour.
genuinely left.
No,
I'm not
we
even
don't.
kidding.
We don't need him.
Fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Black!
Incredible.
No one in the feed has any idea.
Polaris briefly T-bars.
Yeah. No, I know.
That's it.
T-posed.
Oh.
Now who's old?
Fair.
Let's get off this.
Listen, all I know is that I am being spoken to by a book.
So it's a book that can talk.
Yeah, it's not particularly, out of the realms of the stuff that we deal with on the daily, but...
Does someone else want to touch it and see if it's related to touching
No,
the
you
book?
don't get to touch
Did
my
it
diary.
happen when you were... Yeah, that's where I'm from. Touching it. Was it the moment you touched it?
No, it's actually just when I saw it.
When you open the
When
drawer,
I opened the drawer and saw it. I didn't have to touch it. In fact, when I picked it up, they seemed to have a good time.
Gross.
Well, I just like, wee,
expecting it, yeah.
just like,
Hang on.
no.
Tender, I'm not saying that I want to give it a good time, but you're a smart, wise, experienced man.
Right, yeah. All right.
He means old.
Is there any...
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, that was the bit. Is there any... Is there any part of you, think about it, that doesn't want to give that up for a reason that's not 100% you? You take my meaning.
No, I do understand, but you understand that I have had a conversation with a consciousness that thinks that I'm its protector.
I mean, that's what I call it as well. But right, okay.
Yeah, but to then hand over whatever object it is that contains that consciousness without being told what somebody wants to do with it.
I won't set it on fire.
I think it's just to
No
see if
one
it will
talked
talk
about
to
setting-
anyone else.
I'm just going to see if it talks.
All right, see if it talks to you.
Hello.
Nothing happens. Also, just to
anything?
clarify, Ilsmedai is currently like leaning against the door right now, just watching, just not.
With a
really
little
knowing
golden
what to do.
exclamation mark above their head.
Just
In a
more,
pool
they're
of
obviously working something out.
I'll be ready to leave whenever you are.
I'm not really sure what's going on, but I feel like from what's happened so far, I'm not going to interject and stress these people out anymore. Is
Tender,
that fine?
try and talk to it now.
Hello.
Hi!
There we are. Yeah, still
So
working.
it's still
yeah.
talking.
Does it react differently in the hands of Wrath?
How do you feel? Do you feel?
I don't know. I feel confused because you've been acting kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
Sorry about
but I'm
that.
excited. It's nice to just. It's good to talk.
It is.
It's been a
Tender,
really long
what's going
time.
on?
Are
And
you talking or we don't know?
Yeah, no, it's talking to me, and
It's very chatty then.
it's very chatty, and has been apparently locked up here for quite some time.
But it only talks to you.
Yep.
Well, that's a mystery for another day.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'll just leave this mysterious talking book in my head for another day, and we'll help the dragon.
What, you're
Gonna
gonna
help
you're
the
gonna do
dragon
that with
anyway.
Would you rather we did something different?
No, I'll try and figure out what's going on with it, but I just might be a bit quiet every now and again, all right?
So just to be clear, you're taking it with you.
Not leaving it here.
Can I roll?
You're
Any-
taking someone's diary with you
The
from their
Undergod
tomb.
of Destruction's diary, yeah.
Just leave
Right.
it.
It seems sad.
I plunder things for a living, and this seems a bit cold.
It seems sad.
It's a diary.
It seemed like it wanted to go places.
So can I roll an Arcana check on this, please?
okay.
It's a 15.
What specifically are you trying to?
Have I heard of anything like this before? Is this strange in a world of magic items?
It's
Does tend to have some weird connection to this undergod that we don't know about? A Diada.
with that Arcana roll. It doesn't tell you anything about whether Tender has a connection to another undergod. It's not unheard of as like a magic item, but it's more some people. It's something that you would have heard of, where they make a diary which can speak only to them, and they can speak only to it.
All right.
That's. I mean, it's not something you've come across, but hearing this, you're not thinking that's obviously like a cursed item where Tender is lying, etc.
Look, these things, I've heard of them, I've read about them, but they tend to be coded to one person that isn't you.
Which is why I don't want to leave it behind.
I mean, I think you should take it with you.
Yeah. I've got this, there's something going on here.
Yeah, you're probably connected to this undergod of destruction somehow.
Maybe.
Relative, ancestor.
The only person who's going to be able to tell me anything about that is in this book.
That is also true.
Okay, let's
What
get going.
What about the other items?
You'll
Magical?
tell us if it says anything untoward, right?
If I start acting like I want to destroy more stuff than usual, then, yeah, maybe tie me up for a bit.
Oh, good.
That's just standard procedure. for
All right,
things
as soon as you
talking,
start on something other than your reputation, we'll let you know. And it's a friendly wink.
Yeah.
He's a privateer captain. He plays rough.
My reputation.
It's a sign that he likes you.
He does a little smile. But my reputation's been in tatters for centuries. I'm pretty sure.
Ha! Yes, it has. Yes. And actually, he does get. No.
It's weirder when you do that. That makes me feel worse when you try and backpedal it. Just let's keep with the banter.
You've been the funny man.
You said there was a ring and something else in this drawer as well.
There's
Well, the old
a
men have a
woven
go.
bracelet, a ring, and there's actually the labels of 4 names. The
What are
way
the
that they're spread
names?
around, you can easily go, oh, some things have been taken.
What are the names?
One name is Maron Ellis now.
Jesus, okay.
No, that one isn't. It is a name that you've heard / seen / are aware of.
Where was that?
Things that you picked up, I believe, from a camp, from one of the tents in the Barrenlands had a drawing of someone and the name on the back of Maron Elestnal. Can, I think, he help?
Maron Elesnal. And the
Bless you.
the thing by Maron Elesnal's name, there is no thing.
There is a wooden ring.
I pick up the wooden ring.
The other names that you've got are Mia Estwa.
Okay, you have to spell that.
Mia.
Yeah.
ESTWA. Yes. Nothing next to them.
Okay.
Hope.
Just the word hope.
Yep.
Grand.
There's still a tradition in this world of, say, tieflings having such names like Tender and stuff, so you can kind of go, that's not
does that mean share? as a
deliberate?
tiefling?
Yes, share as a tiefling. Canon.
There's nothing next to Hope.
Cut. And
Celeste,
Hey.
which has the bound bracelet.
What was the name of the voice inside the diary again? So I've got it written down.
Isla.
Isla.
I pick up the bracelet and the ring. Right,
Okay.
so this ring belongs to a Maron Elesnal, and this bracelet belongs to someone called Celeste, and someone called Mia and someone called Hope have either already been, or whatever they had here is long gone.
Wasn't Maron that carving, that picture, that engraving that you picked up?
Yes, the notes from the book, I think. Shuffles through notes. Yes, Maron Elesnal, can he help? Probably working for the Dawns, so yoink. What's the wooden ring?
It's just a ring.
Not magical in any way.
No.
No, but we could use it this and that. Find them.
Yes, we could. What about the bracelet? Is it magical? These aren't magic, they're just mementos, keepsakes.
Something tied to the person.
Can we track people that way?
If we can locate people by using objects of theirs, which is a certain kind of spell some of us may have access to, but I don't.
Isn't that what this does?
What does?
It's only it's carved in, and you can tell that the arcane magic, the arcane energy, is only in those little motes, and so you would need a new map or such like.
Oh, I see. It's a communications device.
It's the kind of thing the tree might be able to tap into, maybe. I know we put a lot of pressure on them, but
So a bit beyond us, really.
yeah.
Well, worth taking the things in any case.
Oh yes, if we know that they might be belonging to those people, we can find somebody who can do a scrying spell of some kind or what have you.
Seems wise.
Is that the kind of thing you'd know how to do, Ilsvide?
I don't know how to scry. I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Didn't the person who dropped us in water know how to scry?
They're a stayer, probably. Well,
They did drop us in water. I feel less inclined to like them, but
this feels very much like a thing to talk to the tree about at some point when you do your daily report, Tender. Don't forget to mention the book that likes you.
Yes, the book that thinks I'm someone else.
Sure.
I tried to convince him that I wasn't, and weirdly it seemed to convince him I was more.
Wait, wasn't... I'm sorry, I'm sure I should remember better, but wasn't your god a god of empathy?
Yes.
Wasn't that making connections between people?
Yeah, but usually I've got to touch people,
you've
and
touched
usually
me.
I'm not involved mentally.
Usually books don't talk.
Well, that's not really true in this world, is it?
Well, I mean, that's a talking book. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point being, I'm usually a conduit. I don't really have I don't get to know
But-
what's going on.
Tender, we all have some connection to a god, and yours is a god of being nice.
Maybe you just really vibe with the diary.
Maybe you just vibe.
Maybe I just vibe.
That's a thing young people
Yeah.
say now.
Yeah, all right.
Are you?
Wet boy.
That's worse.
I have been utterly murdered. I have never been so destroyed in my life.
Welcome to the god of destruction, baby.
No, I have to tie you up now. Yeah.
Do you have everything you
That's what I
need?
wanted.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
We'll get out of here.
Let's go through the one that
No.
puffs air on either side of your head.
As you said, we won't be in any real danger going through all this, because, you know, I've been a little bit beaten up and all. It's after the interval.
You should be fine. I mean, obviously there's something with water, but we can deal
I'll
with
keep
that when
away
we
from
reach
all
it.
of you.
But if you follow me, and
I'll bring up the rear.
Ilsmadai heads through, and you go into this corridor, very dimly lit. Again, a few ever-burning flames, quite sparsely spread out through them. And as you walk through, it's impossible to miss the sensation of just kind of the regular of air against your temples, and also the random arrows that are currently littering the floor, occasionally in very old skeletons.
Look,
I just figured that out.
It's drying to a certain extent.
I'm going to just go into my head quickly and just be... Isla,
Yes?
when was the last time we talked? I mean, not you and me. When was the last time somebody spoke to you? Before me, who is...
But you've always been... You're the only person I speak to.
When was the last time we talked before just now?
Oh, years and years and years and years.
Do you have a number on that, or is it we just years and years?
It's hard to tell, because when I'm not speaking to you, then I don't... Oh, no, wait. What's the time now? And I will allow that you can give the in-world date
Great.
of things.
March 3rd.
Oh, well, because normally you tell me the date so that I remember it, and then I can tell it back to you. But the last one that you told me was about 200 years ago?
Righto. Well, look, that's why I've changed so much. It's been a long time.
It has. It's been really, but it's really nice to, obviously your voice sounds a bit, but it's good.
All right, well, I'll keep in touch. I'll make sure I've got something more interesting to say next time.
That's all right. You know, I just, that's the whole point. I listen whether it's interesting or not. And so it's fine for you to tell me whatever, even if you can't tell it to other people, you can always just tell it to me.
Is there anything that jumps out at you that maybe I definitely couldn't have told other people?
What do you mean?
Oh, you know, big secrets. Things.
Oh, you mean Telgast?
Yeah, Telgast. Oh,
Well, yeah.
that thing. Oh, definitely shouldn't tell anyone about that. Glad I had you. All right.
You get the sense of a knot.
Ooh, in my pocket. All right. Well, I'll be back.
Okay.
This is going to bite you in the ass so
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
So you follow down the corridor, and Ilsmadai pushes on another stone door at the end of it, and you go into the smallest chamber that you've been in so far. It's only about maybe 20 by 20 feet, a square. In the center is very clearly a stone coffin, and there are simply engravings on the coffin and the walls of who you now recognize as Cly, doing incredibly powerful things, of inspiring people, of leading people.
Destroying stuff. Destroying things.
Yes.
Great.
Not kind of felling cities, but fighting off individuals and that kind of thing. And the other side of the room, you hear this the moment that the door opens, is the rush of water, because the other side of the room, there is what looks almost like a waterfall that just appears in the ceiling, goes down, and there is a hole in the floor. This space has been built around this internal waterfall, and it just covers one of the walls, water rushing from top to bottom.
Nice.
Ilsmadai, I'm assuming that's our way out.
Yes.
Where does it go to? Down or up? Where are we going?
Down, quite sharply.
How far down is it?
Hard to tell.
Could you put a number on it in, say, feet?
Well, you're at an angle, so it's a few hundred.
Damn it.
What?
Oh, I've got a thing, but it only works for 60 feet, so...
Oh, I fly.
Oh, you.
As in, it's a sharp slope, or is it just you just walk?
Oh no, it's a slope.
How did you get up it?
With difficulty.
Okay.
What's at the bottom?
Cave.
Is it a pool of water?
Yes.
Okay.
Polaris, do you want to go first, get out of the water, and then let us know when it's safe?
I like this plan.
Do you have a way to let us know it's safe?
I mean, no,
think,
I don't.
yes,
I
the
don't
only
have
person
to.
with any kind of stuff I think is
I
10
can
ascending.
message
Unless you
over
can hear me,
120
I'll-
feet.
If you can see me, aye.
If I know where you are, it works the same way. I have to have seen you.
You don't know,
You need
like
to point
you know
straight at me,
general,
don't you?
but
No,
you don't
that's
know
true.
where he is.
All right.
Wait, is it a rope of climbing?
I've got a rope of climbing, but it's 60 feet.
Given my genasi
Yeah.
ability of my
Move.
swim speed is the same as my walk speed.
Yes.
Can you walk up waterfalls?
Can I swim up? I mean, you can say no. I'm just checking.
With
Like,
this
thematically,
suit
I can see why, but also game-wise, it's maybe a little broken, so I'm happy to not do it.
I'm gonna say that you can't because potentially that could get stretched to a thing where we're in a city and it's pouring down with rain, so
Walk up the
technically there's
rain.
rain spilling over buildings. Can I do the thing? And on the one
Why
hand,
would you
that
not
sounds-
want that?
on the one hand, that sounds very cool,
Rad
but
as
on the other,
hell.
I could just see some ways in which it could become a bit broken.
Yeah, fine.
I spit in the air and you
I
run
think,
up
but
it.
then Polaris does take a look at the waterfall and says, "Aye, it is flowing too fast. I can't."
Well, either way, I mean, what if we just give you... I mean, at this point, we're not really in any huge rush, are we? I mean, we just give
5
you...
minutes?
Yeah, we give you 5 minutes to get out of the water.
One
and
thing I'll point out:
maybe try yelling.
has anyone seen any sign at all of the dawn?
Nope.
No.
Then either.
Is that the death cult?
Aye.
Yep.
Right.
Except for potentially the items that we now have in our possession.
What, these...
Look,
The
either
trinkets
they don't know where this thing is, and we got ahead of them, or they know, and we just happen to be a bit ahead of them.
Hang on, I have a
So
thought.
there's still a little bit of a ticking sundial on this.
Hang on, I have a thought on this. I might be able to do something with one of these lovely new trinkets.
Well, not the
Throw it
immovable rod.
hard down a waterfall.
Throw it to the ground at a point within 30 feet of you. That point could be throwing it into a waterfall.
And then what? What does it do?
At the bottom, an illusion appears of something. I don't know what it's random.
I jump into the waterfall.
Get
Come on,
down.
10 to 10.
Yeah, just give us a yell. 100 feet's not so far that you can't yell, right?
I mean, I'd have to ask the DM.
Big yell.
What's your con?
Well, 14. Yeah.
14. I'd allow that, especially because it's a particularly
Echoey
echoey
cave, yeah.
inside, like you'll be in a cave.
And if anyone knows how to send... Oh, actually, we did establish that I can speak through water. So we could do something fun where, like, sound comes out of the waterfall.
I'm happy with that.
Because the Genasi society that I come from would need to be able to speak, like, normally through water and send sound through. Okay, I dive through. Easy as you like. I get to the bottom, but what happens then? Can I get out easily?
Sorry, I'm going to have to very quickly fix this because otherwise,
No.
would you be able to do that? Thank you so much.
Brewer's droop.
So you jump into the waterfall.
And I go all I swim like a fish rather than like a
Yeah.
person. We established this. So like my limbs almost retract into myself, and I'm just.
Can you make me a con save with advantage?
Heck
Because
yes.
you are so adept with water.
Like a mermaid.
That is a 21. Yeah, mermaid works.
Thank you.
Well, no, personally.
21. This is enjoyable and exciting and fun and wonderful for you, rather than sickening and stomach churning.
I love it. It's nice to be back in the water.
Yeah, for anyone that's
And actually,
familiar,
as I do go down, there's a little bit of electric crackle, and I'm reminded of why
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
there's
But yeah.
this tiny crackle, and you basically jumping down. It's a slow change from the incredibly steep drop into something a bit more enjoyable. But there's just this internal kind of waterway that you find yourself basically cascading down further and further down the mountain and arcing over different curves of it until you are just arced out of a hole high in this cave, which opens up and you can see through the entrance of it just kind of bits of Utheroim, the fjord that this mountain is beside. In kind of dusk, it's getting to the afternoon into evening light outside, and it arcs you over and into this pool of water at the center of this cave. Yes, there is basically light is fading, and there are no torches in here because there was no reason to put them here. But there are outcroppings of rock around the edge of the cave, and nearer the mouth of it, you can see a few small abandoned boats, but in various stages of disrepair.
Can they be lit by the occasional crackles of white light going through the water? That's
Yes.
how I spot them. Good. Well, I get out of the water, look at the boats, and then kind of just reach into the water with my hand and speak and send. There's boats down here. It goes out into into something.
Tender pulls his head out of the waterfall. It says there's boats.
All right, let's go.
Right.
A giant frog leaps into the waterfall.
Nice.
You're so many things.
Can I say that whilst that was all happening and Tenor kind of had his head in the waterfall, he was also in his own head, as it were, just occasionally coming out for... and in his own head just kind of going, Isla,
Yes?
can we just establish something? You can't talk to anyone who isn't Calliope, right?
Yes. You never used to talk about yourself in the third person.
I know. I might start now. Just
Okay.
because I don't want to deceive you. But, in some sense,
Who
I
do you
must
think
be
you are?
Calliope. Who do you think you are? Eh? Poor.
Well, I'm Isla. But you say that you're not Kallaia, so who do you think you are?
I think I'm Tendel of Enkir.
Okay.
Now, can we still talk?
Yes.
Good. Who or what is Telgast? Or is that a long story for another time?
Well, it is a long story, whether it's for another time. I mean, I could tell it to you now if you want. It depends whether... Well, you said a long story for another time.
Is there maybe like a Cliff Notes version? You know?
I don't know, because you always talked in very long sentences whenever you talked about them. What?
Having a mo.
I might ask you about them later. For now, I think I've got to jump into a waterfall.
Okay.
God damn it, David.
While we were waiting,
Yeah.
do you have any use for this rope?
I think I've jumped into. Oh, while we're away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
while you're
Yeah.
waiting.
What does it do?
Say the magic word, and it, well, whatever the magic word is. I don't know. Whatever the magic word is. Drawing a blank.
Is it like a
Cheese.
rope?
Kaplunk. It's kaplunk. Kaplunk. The rope sort of becomes 60 foot high. For helping climbing, maybe. Getting you into tricky spots.
I mean, it looks handy, doesn't it? I'm happy to carry it for you.
No, it's yours.
Oh, thank you, darling. Very kind.
Says the frog.
How do you,
Not frog yet. Oh,
How
this
do
is
you-
before then.
Yeah.
like, tugs on it and it doesn't come down?
Chazz, what's the magic word to turn it off?
Buckaroo!
Buckaroo!
And it just, like, coils down. Oh! How unique. Coils it up, Puts it in the bag of holding.
Thought it might be of use.
What do the other ones do?
Oh, well, this deck of cards is very nice, and I'll be having fun with those. And this rod, I'm frankly very disenchanted with. Anyone want a rod that can not be moved, except it bloody well can?
I'm happy to hold it, dear.
Fine.
No, thanks.
Puts
Do
the
you-
rod in
Phoebe?
the bag.
No, if it doesn't do what it says it should do, then
No,
why
it
would I-
does, but it didn't seem to do exactly what it said it would do. I don't know, maybe it would have stopped an encounter happening, I don't know.
I'm alright.
It's about this time that you hear the echoes of Polaris's message.
Okay, here we go. And
Takes the rod,
yeets
puts it in the
myself
bag. Fine.
into the
Yeah?
yeah.
Can all of you please make just a con save?
Oh, watch me die.
Someone is used to the ocean and water and things like this.
Ooh! 17, I stand corrected.
16?
Mm-hmm.
14.
18.
This is all.
Oh my god, we're so effective.
It's just as enjoyable for you as it was for Polaris. Ilsmedai is not having a good time. Ilsmedai feels pretty sick. I think Ilsmedai has got caught and then kind of gone upside down and is now falling head first and backwards. And you each come out one after the other, just arcing out over the water into this rather compared to the places that you've been recently, this rather peaceful cave. And you're currently bobbing in the water next to Ilsmedai, who quite quickly just wants to get out of it, not keen on it.
Everyone all right?
I'll frog stroke over.
I just get out the water, not happy with being in water.
Yep. Get out the water feeling quite pleased. The last time I was in water, I got very badly stuck. So
Yeah, I'm out.
I solved the water puzzle.
Polaris,
Hello there.
you hear in your head
No!
a familiar voice. Polaris, a friend who stopped the circle before, is at Helmsview in Era, gathering intelligence. Name's Narisha. Tell me you can get there yourselves. It is half from the tree.
Can we get there ourselves? Looking at these boats, I'm guessing I can size up boats pretty quickly.
Why don't you roll to size up some boats?
What am I rolling? Privateer.
Investigation or survival, I guess, in a way.
I'd rather investigation.
Investigation, then. Investigate them boats.
Let's get together and roll a 12.
Cool. It's not hard, especially with your experience with boats, to go. There's one that it's not gonna go fast, but it's serviceable.
When you say boats, are these rowboats or like small sloops? What are we?
I've
I've done some research for this character.
An oppie. It's got 2 sails, but the one in front is, just a jib sail.
Yeah, indeed. Are there any sails, or is this full on?
No,
We're
there
doing shifts here.
none of these have sails.
Great.
So
Sorry,
it's
a topaz.
different kind of scales of rowboat.
But they're serviceable. And well, next question.
Basically, there's a couple that would only hold one person. There is a serviceable one that would be able to carry 5 of you.
Okay, I would like to do this. Can I, from my 13, 14, can I assess what sort of range we have from here based on that boat? How long it's safe to, if it's safe to be out more than a day or whatever?
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Well, you know that Era, it's one of the main cities in this land, and you know that it is along the coast of this fjord, and that actually it would probably.
I was going to say I know where we are right now. Then because that was my second question.
It's
I
a
can't remember from last
reasonable
time.
assumption to make, given
Yeah.
that you were told you were being sent to Utheroim, and you can
Fine.
see a massive fjord, and you know that Utheroim's a fjord.
Yeah.
So you know that this would do. It would definitely hold up, bar a massive storm or such like. It would easily hold up for the overnighter it would take you to
Okay.
kind of row to Era.
In which case, with my eyes resting on this boat, I reply with, here we go. Oi, we can get there. Have
heart. Do you have any means of extracting souls? This is Polaris, by the way.
3 more if you want to use them.
XOX, sorry.
No, just that's it.
So you've just really asked about the extracting souls.
Yeah. And told her we have the heart, which was why we were sent.
Yes.
Because I think last time we did this equivalent, we didn't tell them that we'd succeeded in what we were here to do. Felt important.
You shortly get a sending back. Good work. We'll investigate soul extraction. Somewhat baffled. Maybe you should have sending stone as leader. End message. Thank you. This is just not staying anywhere near me.
Thanks. We'll see about sending stone. Met dragon.
Standing in front of Tom. Let's just see if that. To be honest, I would rather that I hold it than we potentially have 5 minutes of struggling with things. Right now, it seems like it's gonna be fine.
Have met dragon. Interested in extracting soul from heart. Shit, I've lost my flow. What was the other? What was the rest of the message roughly? Like it was about get the stone. That's okay. Get the stone.
Maybe you should have because
Maybe I should have it.
Tender has a sending stone that goes straight to
It was
heart.
2 points.
Yeah.
It was the stone and it was
Yeah.
souls. Could be, and I kind of like in the TV show. I like glance at the dragon and kind of go. Could be worthwhile ally. Knows nothing of henges.
Cool. You don't get any immediate response to that.
Fine. Who's got the stone that keeps us in touch with Hearth?
Oh, me. I got that.
We just spoke. She suggested that I have, as captain, as you insist on calling me sometimes.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, it was given to me, but yeah, I suppose. I mean, you don't want to. You really want all the responsibility of being the captain and carrying the stone.
Well, given that a captain's first job is to report to an admiral, then it should probably be me who can do. I can't.
Yeah, but you have a communications person on the boat, don't you?
Give me the rod.
Well, we have the woman with the flags, but that's for the.
Give to him. Have the stone. Go on.
Wait, this isn't. You have a different one for your.
I've got one for. Yeah, I do. I've got a separate
You've
one
got
for
one
it,
that goes directly to your daughter. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to be.
No, to be honest,
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be talking to your daughter.
I was worried I might be messing them up, actually, because
They're sufficiently distinct.
Just do it.
Some of the messages.
What a hilarious sitcom episode that'd be.
Some of the messages.
We need a large dragon. Go away. I'm on Neopets.
You're so in touch with the youth.
So
You know the Neopets.
I am
still
the real
going.
you all along.
They are also owned by Scientologists.
No.
They're releasing
Let's
a
veer off
cartoon.
Scientologists.
Let's get off that.
back into
It's a
this
trademark. We
world.
can't talk about it on stream.
You can talk about
I
trademarks.
take the stone. Thank you. Now, I just spoke to Hearth. She, among other things, said we should head to Isla?
Aira.
Aira. Head to Aira. And we all know where that is because it's a big city, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like all of you
We're going
would
to
be
Birmingham.
familiar with this place.
Right?
Oh, wonderful.
Aye. Apparently, friend. Was this? Now, did I recognise the name, or is it a friend of Hearth / the tree who said this?
It's a friend of Hearth / the tree. To be honest, actually, you would recognise the name Narisha.
And why is that?
Because it's the kind of friend where if you'd been going into Hearth's office to see her about something, often it would be, oh, well, Narisha's waiting outside or Narisha leave. You've not actually had any direct contact or conversation, but you have seen Narisha at the college in Odeval, where the tree's based, that kind of thing. You're familiar with Narisha as a elven woman who typically kind of likes to keep to herself, doesn't like to make too much of a fuss about things. This is the first you've heard about Narisha stopped the circle the first time.
Well, yeah. Apparently, a friend to our cause, Narisha. Those of you who might know her. Turns out she knows a thing or two about this sort of thing, and Hearth says we need to check in with her.
Do a history roll on Narisha if there's a connection with stopping this the first time round.
Sure.
No. That is an 11.
Nah, you don't quite.
That
Remember
strange elf woman in the office,
Mm.
occasionally, whenever we've gone in and out sometimes. Polaris.
There's an office?
Never mind.
Look, we need to get to Ara. Let's, well, if you'll permit me, this craft here seems the best one to get us all there.
Before we head off,
A
yeah.
rowboat.
Ilsvite, darling, would you mind
Yes.
giving us a moment? Just for us to have a little chat.
I mean, where I'm happy, but kind of is looking around. I can stand on the other side, but I don't know if I can still hear.
Well, I'm sure you're absolutely trustworthy.
Just put your hands over your ears and hum. Right. Just la la la.
Hearth is our employer.
No,
they're
no,
going to roll
genuinely, I would
insight
like
on
to have
you
a
as
chat
to
in
whether
private.
that's genuinely a sincere suggestion. That is a 10, and that like you're sincere.
Yeah.
I really would like to see the heart soon.
Yes, dear.
Yeah. And all in good time. La 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 la.
Right. Look, I don't know how
Polaris
everyone
looks
else-
looks at the bard getting a dragon to do that. Something changes. Sorry, you go on.
I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but as far as I know, I'm currently holding a family member hostage.
Yep.
I would much rather if we can take the dragon with us. Why don't we let them have their brother back? They can still go to the tree. They can still ask for help. It's no different. I just feel that it's family, and family's different.
You'll get no argument from me.
I'm with you.
I don't know.
Doesn't seem right.
It's
Withholding it.
It's about professionalism.
With respect, Captain, sword professionalism. It's family. I'm not kidnapping a child.
With respect, where we can't sod the world.
How are
This
we?
is an adolescent dragon, by the looks of it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm with you. I believe that they do what they could to get that egg to wherever it needs to go and find someone who can extract the soul. But there's a lot of us, and the tree is powerful, and if we can make sure that it gets there,
That's
then...
what I'm saying. Bring them with us. Bring them to the tree.
Oh, I thought you
just
were saying
don't
it should
want-
go off on its own.
Well, no. What I mean is, I don't want it to be in our possession. I don't want it to be our choice over whether the tree gets it or not. I want it to be a family choice. If the tree has the resources, I'm sure they'd want the help. They don't know how to get it out any better than we do. If the tree does, I'm sure they'll want the help. But that's their choice, not ours.
It's not really up to us.
Why not?
Because we were hired.
I don't care about a contract. I care about what's right.
Well, then you're in the wrong line of work.
Quite possibly, but it's definitely not by my choice.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that the only reason I'm here is that if I'm not, my people have their own problem. It's a bit, less than ideal as a situation, really. I wouldn't call it extortion, but it's not exactly polite.
What do you mean? Have the trees threatened your family?
No, they've been very careful to make sure that we know we're being protected. And that
Hang
the
on.
only thing that happens if I don't do what they ask is that we are no longer protected.
What do you mean by protected? And do you mean Sorry, everyone. This might be a changeling thing as well. I swap to. I suppose people speak Dwarvish and Elvish, don't they? Just gesture to one side.
La la la.
I trust you not to listen, Tender. Are you talking about
Where we are.
where you are?
Yes.
My family left.
Where my people are, where we are. The only reason that we've been afforded the protection of the tree is that I agree occasionally to do work for them.
I didn't know.
Most people don't. The whole idea is not knowing.
No, but well, we moved away. We left. My parents left. So the tree know about, and forgive me for not really using this word in its fairest usage. It's not home, where we are from.
It's my home.
I understand it's not mine.
Yes.
And you have to do work for them, or they will tell people where we're from.
No, that's not. I have to do work for them, or they'll stop giving us their protection. What that means is fairly open.
I didn't know.
That's the problem with nobody knowing about you, darling. Nobody helps. And if they do, then you owe them. And that's why I don't tell people who I am. That's why I have to sound like that all the goddamn time. Because otherwise there are consequences. And not just for me, for everyone. So...
Hang on. Consequences? I've never hidden what I am. No one told me to.
Yes, dear, and that's why when we got the list full of people to look out for, you were on it and I wasn't.
Oh.
If nobody knows you exist, nobody tries to kill you.
Sorry, I thought you were being paid. I thought we were all being paid.
It's not why I'm here. I am being paid, but the money isn't the reason. I don't really need it. I can get plenty of my own on my own.
Well, that's not hard, is it, when you can change what you look like?
So, Captain, you have to understand that I'm here out of necessity. But we weren't able to give them the crown, the one that got stuck in the arch.
Aye.
But we did stop it from being seized by the wrong people. That's all I'm suggesting here. We're stopping it from being seized by the wrong people and making sure the right people do have it. Surely that fulfills what we have to fulfill of the contract.
It was me who suggested that in the first place about the souls. I'm just saying the exact material outcomes of it all. We need to make sure that our new dragon associate here is safe. And yet, when we hand them over to the tree, we'll give them the heart of beasts. But until then, I'm just a little more comfortable with it. They're an adolescent. What if they take against something one of us has said and flies off and then flies straight into the hands of who knows who?
Well, with all respect, what if Phoebe sets us all on fire? Adolescence doesn't mean that one can't be trusted with things that are important.
It's not about trust, it's about... Frankly,
I think
if they were fully grown, they could stick up for themselves the way we five can, but...
We'll be there to protect them as well.
Captain, I think they should be involved in this conversation. I don't disagree with you. I think you're correct. I think we take them to this representative of the tree in Era, and they can all work together, but I don't think it's entirely our decision, with respect.
You can just call me Polaris. I'm not even a
Polaris,
captain
look.
anymore.
I'm not saying you're wrong, either of you. I'm just saying that they seem lovely, but they haven't exactly been able to defend themselves or shown good judgment. They've been down there for ages.
We met them chained up.
Now, do I want them to have their brother back? Absolutely. Is handing over, and we're on the open ocean for a bit. And I don't know if, I mean, they can fly off, but if they fly into another trap, or if they...
Let's involve them and talk them through what we'd like to do and see how they feel about it.
Well, how they'll feel is they'll want their brother.
No, but
This is not the logical thing.
They
It'll
can
be an
have both.
emotional thing.
they can have both.
They can have
exactly.
both. As long as they stay under the protection of the tree, they can have what they want, and we get what we want to.
I walk over to. Forgive me, I don't want to say Panama Canal Zone Jackson.
Elsmedai.
Elsmedai.
You did.
I did. I mean, I
You
totally
wanted
did.
to say that for a long
I've
time.
been sitting on it since the interval. You should understand that when it comes to giving you your brother, we're arguing quite passionately over when, not if. I need you to understand that.
Okay.
With respect, given that's the word of the hour, seems like you do believe we've got it.
You lied, didn't you?
No. We've got it.
Well then, I believe, I know you've...
We're on our way, as you may have just heard, to a representative of the wider organization of the tree. You remember the opposite of that death cult, all of that.
Yes.
The very people who, we make no promises, but if there's people who know people who are good at souls, it's them. Now my personal view is that at such time as we meet them, we're happy to introduce you and give you your brother. It's a day, maybe two at the most, of sailing, if you can call this sailing.
Rowan.
And so until then, I still just have to go on trust and words as to
In
you having...
In my opinion, I would feel perfectly comfortable letting you see your brother, but I think the captain would like you to agree that he stays in our custody and you stay with us until we can get you both somewhere safer.
But while we travel, I can have him. I'll travel. I'm not stupid.
Nobody's
And I know
saying
it
you are.
would be a stupid thing to try to trick you all. That's obvious.
We're finally giving off the right impression then. Aware?
Just so that I'm clear, are we going to let Ismade carry their brother, or am I to be carrying him?
I said when all of this was discussed that I didn't really want to be captain. Just somebody who at least gets things moving in the same direction. We have a consensus. You do what you'd like to do. I support you.
Ismade, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you going to leave us once you have what you want?
Like I said, I'm not stupid. I know that you want to. I'm happy to speak to your people. This tree.
Roll an insight. It's got more than that. It's not what it says on the dice. No, why am I on that page? That's not the right page. The right page is 16.
Sincere.
Right. Good. Opens the bag, takes out the heart of beasts.
As Ilsmede reaches with human hands for the heart of beasts, their figure completely changes, and it's the hands and these huge dragon wings that are just enveloped around this large stone-like egg with the crack where you can see a small eye just at the moment that it had hatched, and just sits there. See, not leaving.
Thank you for your trust, dear.
May I try something? Tender is going to try and use his undergod ability to see if there's anything in there that she can feel. They can feel, sorry.
Oh, this is interesting. It's just a
It's an emotion.
It's a willing creature,
Yeah.
but a petrified.
I don't know whether or not that you have emotions when you're petrified.
Are you
or
just
if
sort of a stone layer, or are you completely stone?
Well, in game terms, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Also, these
No,
are
you're,
But
you're
these
frozen.
are extra.
Yeah.
These are like extra abilities
Okay.
that are beyond that which exist within the rules of the game.
Can you describe again what it looks like when you do this?
So I walk over and just say, may I? And I try and touch the eye, and I put a hand on their shoulder. And just a gentle glow on the stone and a gentle glow on her shoulder, and Tender just kind of feels something go through him, but it does not feel what it is.
Mhm.
It is a conduit.
What Ilsmedai gets? Your power normally it's like a sharing of emotion, and even that emotion can be quite detailed because of what your power is having to kind of almost draw and drag from the tiniest spark, tiniest awareness. It's just a sense of familiarity. That's all it is. It's nothing more concrete or more explicit than that. But it's something different, something that Ilsmedai wasn't feeling before. Thank you.
We're on
You
your
didn't
side.
have to do that.
I know. We're on your side.
And are yours, I suppose.
And he walks away.
If you'd like to sit here.
In human form. Sorry, just small boat. 5 people. Wait, 1,
I
2,
mean,
3.
Oh, I suppose you... Yes. Yes, I suppose there's not quite enough trust. Right.
Well, no, it's just the weight.
I can fly.
Oh, God.
I think for this instance.
No, I understand. Shifts back into that humanoid figure.
So the boat's
Holding
big
the
enough
egg.
for 5.
Is it big enough for
It's
6?
been like 5, 6. I forgot to count myself.
No, I mean, I can sweep if you need.
There's enough space that you can
Happy to not
be
be
in the
away.
boat if you want to. You're not forced to kind of shape change or anything.
I'd like, if possible, it's a tiny thing that they may not even notice,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd like, where I was pointing in the boat, I'd like to, once they're sat down, say, right, anyone got any rowing experience? You can take second shift after you've been watching for a while, Wrath. Well, why not you and me, Tender?
I know how to row.
Of course you do. You're made of strong stuff.
I'll go and roll then.
Right.
Yeah.
You and me. And basically, I'd like to position everybody in such a way as, because rowing you row backwards. I'd like to have put our new friend on the front of the boat in such a way that we've all been positioned, not keeping watch on them, as in passively indicating trust. Of
Okay.
like, we've not got, would you mind sitting like there, staring at you as you row, because you might fly off because you're
dragon, and you're probably CR12. That whole thing. But it's the opposite of that because Polaris is like, no, he buys this. He buys this. So it's just sit there with your brother.
Yeah, I think it's clocked.
All right. Evo,
Jocks away.
that's not what we
Is that not what that?
No.
No.
We say anchors away.
Oh.
You remove the chocks from
Can
a
we
massive
get
nosebleed.
on with it?
They don't exist yet.
Someone say chocolate?
You start rowing in amongst these kind of skeletons of other boats left by other adventurers. Essentially, some of the bodies, skeletons that you saw in the tomb. And you start edging out of the cave, water flowing more freely, and just as the light starts to go in the evening, you back out into this beautiful, expansive fjord surrounded by green, lush mountains, and you can see small waterfalls off the sides of them, and it is quiet in a really wonderful way as you back slowly onwards towards Era. Is there any last thing anyone would like to do?
I'd like to have a little rowing conversation, as you do. Polaris, the situation that Aware's got themselves in.
Aye.
I know organisations in big cities that pull a similar grift. How much do you trust the tree?
They've never been late with a payment. But no more than that.
Just something to bear in mind, I think. Protection racket's not exactly the people I thought I was throwing my hook in with.
No. Even when a protection is of what they say is the entire world.
Just thought I'd flag it up.
We call that semaphore.
Boo.
Dads.
I have shifted into a grey, naked, almost featureless shifter form that you may recognise.
Me.
Literally reach into the bag, pull out hardtack, and just start eating bread. Just sat looking out at the water, eating bread.
I'd like to talk to my dad.
Do you just try and say his voice in your head? How do you, when you want to talk to him, how does that work? Is it just willing it? And just to be clear, is this your dad or a message from your dad, a vision?
I don't think it's a vision.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of, I've had the visions. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. I'm trying to do the right thing, but I feel like I'm losing everything I've been taught. I don't know what I'm doing. Please say something. I've got friends, but it's not the same. Please, if you're around. Silence.
There isn't a response. And with that, kind of almost zooming out, the boat becoming smaller and smaller, more and more alone in this huge, vast body of water surrounded by even bigger mountains, is where we're going to leave it for today.
Yeah.
And breathe. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and thank you for abiding with slight tech issues there. This is great. So we are Adventurers Wanted. We do this the first Tuesday of every month here. We also stream it later that week, And also, every Monday we stream on the official D&D Twitch channel. It is a game called Baldur's Gate Framed, which is run by Chris and has wonderful, wonderful players. We also run streams of Star Trek Adventures and John Carter of Mars and things like that with Modifius, which is also really cool. Twitch.tv/AdventuresWanted or YouTube.com/AdventuresWanted is where you can find all that. If you want to know what we're up to, @Adventures250 on Twitter is the best place to look. And I'm trying to think of other things. We have a Patreon if you want free tickets to this or to support us in other ways. Patreon.com/AdventuresWanted. There is a running theme. So that gives you free tickets to this. It gives you things like this as playable one-shots at home, blogs, all sorts of other little kind of treats and extras. I'm going to throw to the folks at the table, because this isn't like the only thing that they do. There are other things to plug anything else that they're doing. And then we will do the draw for whoever's going to go home with some very nice dice, courtesy of Thornless Rose.
What am I supposed to add? I run the company with you.
It's not, you do stuff.
Not really. I'm not talking about my other work. There are some lovely stickers on the table which have been given to us by people. So feel free to come and collect some of these on your way out. You are more than welcome.
Yeah.
Share the love.
Follow me on Twitter @TheSarahGriffin. Follow me on Instagram @GriffTheGriffin. You'll notice a theme. That's where I update any of my upcoming work. And a special shout out to Ducky. Happy anniversary.
Aww.
Lovely. What was that? Hello. You can find me on Twitter @TomBlackUK. And I'm currently in Crooks 1926, which is very good fun if you like flat caps and the 1920s and a BBC programme which we're not allowed to talk about. You may well enjoy this wonderful immersive experience where you get to try and take over London from the bad criminals on behalf of the good criminals. It's really good fun. It's actually had a lot of 5-star reviews and so on. So it's, yeah, please come along. It's very good fun. And it's all in a pub with the bars open all the time. So.
Right, I'm Hannah. You can find me on Twitter @CholorOutLoud, bread out loud. I'm a poet and an immersive theatre actor, so if you're looking for either of those things, I do bespoke poetry. I will be at Unislam in Birmingham representing the Barbican Young Poets this weekend, and then on March the 27th, I will be doing their showcase. So, yeah. That's me. Hire me.
I'm David. We covered that already. But you can find me on Instagram as David Alwyn and on Twitter as David Alwyn. Probably on Facebook, but who uses that anymore? And I am appearing in a film, which is probably coming out in April, May sort of time, called Election Night, which is like a British horror film. Based around yeah, exactly. But there is real blood in it as well as politics.
Real blood?
Well, no.
But, say.
Suspend disbelief. I was covered in it. Yeah, all sorts of other things. Keep an eye on the Twitter and the whatnot. And also a quick shout out to Wilbert's Wands. I just finished doing Secret Cinema with a very talented guy who makes wands. So look up Wilbert's Wands if you want anything from like £5 to £250 worth of magic wand. Then look him up.
Cool. I'm also going to do a very quick double plug. I shamefully didn't properly introduce Chazz at the beginning of tonight, who has been doing all our lovely improvised sound. Tomorrow, it's now like the first Wednesday of every month. Chazz is part of a lovely and incredibly talented improv group, Jack Left Town, who do monthly shows here, and they're super, super good and incredibly finessed and wonderful at improv, and it's always a really good night. And also, Chazz, what are the details for Bespectacle?
Yes, I'm doing an hour of original character horror comedy at Vault Festival on Wednesday the 11th of March at 10 p.m. because nothing says comedy like 10 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Okay, where's the hat?
I've got it.
The hat.
We might have to do some multiple pickings.
I left it right next to my flyers for both of the shows you mentioned.
Do you want me to
Hey, Chazz, put them on the table next to the stickers. Wow, there we go.
Good idea.
Yeah, someone works in PR.
2!
Hey!
lovely dice. If anyone is interested, business cards for the Thornless Rose, and if you use the code Undergods10, you get 10% off anything in the store.
Maybe
And
put
it's
those
got
next to the stickers,
amazing
Chloe.
stuff.
There we go.
Okay, I think that's enough kind of like post-amble. Go downstairs before they stop serving for the night. And thank you so much for coming, and please do spread the word, tell your friends, etc., etc. Thank you so much.